The Braves engineered a National League title last season, and they have designs on a much bigger trophy this year. The Braves boast baseball's best starting rotation, anchored by 19-game winner Tom Glavine. He's joined by the talented Steve Avery, John Smoltz, and Charlie Leibrandt. Speed is the key to the Braves' unbridled running attack, and Deion Sanders has been impressive. The league leader in triples, he's joined by stolen base tandem Otis Nixon and Ron Gant to give Atlanta plenty of speed. The power is supplied by National League MVP Terry Pendleton. He's on pace for 100 RBIs, and Dave Justice has begun to produce after a slow start. Add to that solid defense in critical moments, and the Braves have the perfect design of a champion. It's the Braves and the Cards next. They had rain during the day, and it's cloudy right now, very humid, but a nice wind is blowing in to Atlanta Stadium. Sunday night baseball featuring the St. Louis Cardinals and the high-flying Atlanta Braves. The Cardinals and the Braves from Atlanta. Omar Olivares for St. Louis and Charlie Leibrandt for Atlanta.
Something to drink, sir?
Yeah, make it a Bud Light.
Sorry, we just ran out.
Oh. Excuse me. Bud Light?
Try Flight 261 out of L.A.
Oh, thank you.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Do you have a Bud Light?
Yes. Welcome aboard, sir.
Great.
John Miller and Joe Morgan back at Atlanta Stadium, where tonight the Atlanta Braves and the St. Louis Cardinals go at it. The rubber match of this three-game series. For the Cardinals, Bernard Gilkey, native of St. Louis, in left. Ozzie Smith at short. Ray Langford having a heck of a season. He's in center field. Felix Jose is in right field batting cleanup. Andres Galarraga is at first base having a very poor season. Tracy Woodson is at third base batting sixth. Todd Pagnazzi is the catcher. Luis Alicea is at second base batting eighth. The pitcher Omar Olivares, and he has won 6 games. And there is Charlie Leibrandt. 15 wins last year for the Braves, 10 so far this year. And Joe, he doesn't look impressive out there, but he gets it done.
He is, in the baseball vernacular, a crafty left-hander, meaning that he hits all the spots, does not throw very hard, throws a lot of change-ups, keeps you off balance. And defensively for the Braves, they will have Dave Justice in right field, Otis Nixon in center, Deion's in left, Terry Pendleton's at third base, Jerry Blauser is at shortstop, Lemke is the second baseman, Sid Breams at first, Greg Olson behind the plate, Charlie Leibrandt is on the mound.
There is a threat of some rain. We've had rain here already in Atlanta today. 79 degrees at game time. The humidity very high, 80%. 50% chance of thunderstorms, they're saying now. And the wind is coming straight in from center field at 8 miles per hour. But it's a very refreshing breeze blowing into Atlanta Stadium. Here is Bernard Gilkey leading it off. And we are underway. First ball swinging is Gilkey, and it's a foul ball. Gilkey, a native of St. Louis, with a batting average of .287, 4 homers and 32 driven in. And he was not playing that much earlier in the year, and finally, as the Cardinals were just struggling along, looking for some run production, they put Gilkey in there, and he has become the pretty much regular everyday left fielder.
Well, when they started the season, remember Pedro Guerrero was in left field most of the time with Langford and Felix Jose in the outfield.
And that's a ball. Occasionally, Gilkey will sit out, and Milt Thompson will play, a left-handed hitter, against a guy that he's had success with in the past. Gilkey runs real well, sprays the ball around, and that is out of play. Foul off to the right. Now, Cincinnati was a winner today, back of Jose Rijo in Montreal, 1-0, as Rijo won it. Dibble saved it, and Kenny Hill, the former Cardinal, took the loss in that one. So it's a big win Or it was a big win today for Cincinnati. Now they're hoping for some help from the Cardinals. That is a fair ball down the left field line. Chasing after Deion Sanders. Gilkey heading into second, and he will be there easily with a stand-up double.
The reason that Leibrandt is successful most of the time, throws a screwball or a fastball that tails away. He cannot pitch the right-handed hitters inside. And when he does get the ball inside, he is going to have a problem. This pitch is inside there, as you can see, and Gilkey just rips it down the left field line. And it's a double.
Now here is Ozzie Smith. And Ozzie sure trying to get Gilkey over to third base somehow. Gilkey has a lot of speed, but he has not yet perfected the art of base stealing. Strike one to Ozzie. Gilkey has stolen 13 times, been caught 9 times. Ozzie Smith, as he ages, he seems to get better. Ozzie is hitting .292. No homers, 22 batted in, 29 steals, still playing an outstanding shortstop. Eligible to become a free agent at the end of the year. On the right field line and out of play.
Ozzie definitely took a shot towards right field on that particular pitch.
Bernard Gilkey, there you see it, 13 steals, but in 22 attempts, so
not a very good percentage.
Not too impressive.
A good percentage would be 80% if you're an excellent base stealer, 75 if you're going to be just a little above average.
So in 22 attempts, that'd be more like 17 or so, 17 or 18 out of 22. He's been thrown out a good percentage of the time. 1-2 the count to Ozzie Smith. And it is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Charlie Leibrandt been around a long time. 35 years of age. And his last year in Kansas City, 1989, he had a very poor year, and the Royals gave up on him. Atlanta picked him up in 1990, and he's pitched well ever since he got here. That is fouled along the third base side. It is 1-2 to Ozzie Smith. And, you know, last year, as the Braves met the Twins in the postseason, and much was made over the veteran Jack Morris and his effect on the young Minnesota pitchers. And perhaps not enough was made of Charlie Leibrandt's effect in this young Atlanta staff last year on guys like Glavine and Smoltz and Avery, because he went out there, he pitched 230 innings a year ago and was that veteran presence. He'd been through it all. Been through pennant races, and all the rest of them, that was their first time. Now, that was a real interesting swing by Ozzie.
Well, Ozzie Smith is still trying to take the ball to right field. Charlie Leibrandt's smart enough to know that, and he's throwing a few sliders in on Ozzie's hands. This is a slider way in, and you see Ozzie drop down and just make a, that's what some of the players call an emergency swing. All he wanted to do was what he did, and that's foul it off and get another pitch. But I don't think enough has been given to Charlie Leibrandt the effect that he has on the whole ball club. I mean, he is a winner, and anytime you run him out there, the team has confidence in the fact that he can win.
That will not get Gilkey over. And out at first is Ozzie Smith. So Leibrandt wins the duel with the Wizard, and the runner is still at second. This series opened Friday. The Cardinals, with a 3-run 10th inning, won the ball game 5-2. Perez the winner over Lee Smith, and that's Lee Smith got the save, I beg your pardon. Then the Braves on the home run by Justice in the 6th inning won last night. Pete Smith went the distance with a 4-hitter. He's 3-0. Clark the loser for the Cardinals, and just what the Braves needed, another pitcher pitching extremely well. Here's Ray Langford, another young Cardinal. 292, 14 homers, 31 doubles, 4 triples, 58 batted in. And he takes ball 1, even though he strikes out all the time. He strikes out about every 4 at bats. Torrey says, gee, if he could even put the ball in play a third of the time, he could win a batting title. He's fast, he's got some power, and he's just getting better and better. He's stolen a team best 36 times. Cardinals still run a lot, not as much as they used to. Cardinals would figure, I guess, Joe, to give the Atlanta Braves some trouble because they do a lot of things well. They don't make mistakes, as manager Joe Torre. They don't make errors, as you pointed out. They can put a little pressure on the defense with the running game. Down the left field line, Deion Sanders, foul territory. The wind pushing it, and he's got it. Langford fouls out to the left field at 2 down.
Leibrandt is, as we said earlier, a very crafty left-hander. Just the fact that he was able to keep Ozzie Smith from hitting the ball to the right side showed exactly what he's made of. He knew that Ozzie Smith was going the other way. He stayed in tight on him. Now he comes back. Langford wants to pull the ball, and he stays away from him, and he hits the ball the other way. So he keeps you off balance with his variety of speeds and his location.
Felix Jose, 302. 11 home runs, 55 runs batted in. Switch hitter, batting right-handed. As you see, ball 1. Now Jose has been rather extraordinary as a right-handed hitter. Batting right-handed, he is hitting .404.
And only .239 from the other side.
He's been rather less than extraordinary, batting left-handed. There you see it. Well, he's batting right-handed now. Base hit can mean a run. 2 down. Into left center field. That's going to do it. Base hit. Rounding third is Gilkey. He'll score. Nice to have a .400 hitter batting cleanup for you. And it is 1-0. St. Louis.
Well, Jose is not a pull hitter, so he would be able to handle Leibrandt a little better than some of the other Cardinals. This pitch is way outside, and he reaches out and gets it, and gets enough of it to hit it into center field. If he would have been trying to pull the ball, he would have hit a weak ground ball to shortstop. But he was going the other way and back through the middle.
Now Andres Galarraga. Very disappointing season for him. Line drive to right, but right to Justice, and that's the inning. 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 man left at the end of a half inning. St. Louis 1, Atlanta coming up. Downtown Atlanta, that's the view from Atlanta Stadium. It is an overcast night, threat of rain. The batting order: Otis Nixon, Deion Sanders in left field, Terry Pendleton at third base, Dave Justice in right field batting cleanup, Jim Bream is at first base, Jeff Blauser, the shortstop, batting sixth, Greg Olson is the catcher, Mark Lemke got a little bit of a bad knee, is at second, and Charlie Leibrandt is the pitcher, batting ninth. And on the mound for the Cardinals, Omar Olivares got a great hard sinker, but sometimes entrusts a big pitch in a ball game to his third best pitch, says Joe Torre. He's trying to get him to throw that sinker more often. Here is Otis Nixon. 323, 2 home runs, 18 batted in. He was serving his suspension when the season began, and it was ironic because Deion Sanders played in his place, and Deion played extremely well. Swing and a miss, strike 1. 0-1 to Otis Nixon. Deion was the talk of the baseball world with the start he had, and now he's having to make a decision here shortly. Baseball or football, which will it be? That's a strike, and it is 0-2 to Otis Nixon. Otis Nixon, Joe, the guy's going to be after your heart. I mean, he makes things happen. He steals bases.
Well, he has played very well for the Atlanta Braves and made one of the great, all-time great defensive plays to save a game against Pittsburgh. Jumped over the fence on a ball that Van Slyke hit, so he's added some defense to their ball club as well.
2-2 the count to him now.
The problem with Olivares is just the last 2 pitches. He has a great fastball, but he will throw you a screwball, he throws you a slider, he throws a split finger. Anytime he gets ahead, he wants to get you out with a split finger.
That is strike 3. Don't see that very often. Bunting with 2 strikes. It would have been a brilliant play if he'd bunted it fair.
Well, I don't think it's a smart play in that Olivares throws so hard. You usually with 2 strikes, you can bunt a pitcher that's going to throw a lot of slow curves or curveballs, something you can get around on. But that is a 90-mile-an-hour fastball that's moving, and it's awfully difficult to drop that down the third baseline. So I think it was a bad choice on that particular bat.
Now Deion Sanders, currently of the Atlanta Braves. First ball swinging, and Alicea got it. 2 men down. Bobby Cox, the manager of the Braves, and also keep in mind he was the general manager during some lean years here in Atlanta, and it was a guy who went out and got a lot of this talent that has become an outstanding ball club a few years later under the managerial tutorship of Bobby Cox. John Sherholtz now the GM. Of course, John Sherholtz came in here last year, brought in some free agents, made some shrewd moves, and one of the best was acquiring this fellow, Terry Pendleton. It's hard to imagine it now, but mainly he wanted Pendleton for his glove. I don't think that they were predicting Pendleton would be the MVP last year, and that he might just repeat the trick this year. He's having a better year. Pendleton with 17 homers, 79 runs batted in. That's out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. He had 86 RBIs in his MVP season a year ago, so just 7 more runs batted in, he'll equal that total. It's interesting. Sheffield of the Padres is having a spectacular year. And they asked Pendleton about being the MVP. He says, well, with the numbers he's put up, Sheffield should be the MVP. And that's a foul. The numbers don't lie. His numbers are awesome. He deserves to be the MVP. So they told Sheffield what Pendleton had said. And he says, well, that's very nice of him, but I believe that he should be the MVP. Sheffield says the MVP should be from a club that wins. Mutual admiration society between those two. And it is 2-2 now to Terry Pendleton. 2 down and nobody on in the first inning. And it is a foul ball right past Pat Corrales, the first base coach. You go back into May, and the Braves had a record of 20-27. They were down at the bottom. Everybody was at them. The Dodgers, the Giants. Since then, they are 54-20. A phenomenal pace. That is foul, out of play off the third base side. Still 2-2 to Pendleton. There you have it. And what was the main difference? Well, look at that earned run average. More than a run a game lower since that poor start. And Joe, we saw them in that poor start back in late April at Dodger Stadium. Avery was struggling. The Dodgers beat him that night. And there they are, those pitchers together in the dugout. Base hit.
Terry Pendleton is ahead of his RBI pace of last year, but his batting average is down a few points. But he really got hot down the stretch last year and raised his average up to 318. Olivares almost gets this ball. It's a line drive back through the middle, and Olivares is probably as good an athlete you're ever going to find on the mound. He runs well, he moves well, he's just a very good athlete.
Now here is David Justice, and he takes a strike. Now Justice's numbers are not what you would expect for a cleanup hitter on a good ball club. Look at that. Only 11 homers, only 44 batted in, only a .255 batting average. Been a somewhat controversial player here in Atlanta, and he's had some injury problems. That is foul, but he hit a home run last night in the 6th inning that proved to be the winning blast of the game. And here it is, 6th inning of the game. And that 2-run shot in the rain put the Braves ahead 3-2, and they won the ball game by that score. And as Joe Morgan mentioned at the top of the telecast, Justice lately has been coming on.
Well, he was not projected to be the fourth place hitter. Ron Gant has hit in that spot the last couple of years, and Justice has hit behind him fifth, but Gant went into a horrible slump, and now Justice is swinging the bat well, so he's hitting fourth, and Gant hits fifth when he plays. Gant has the night off.
1-0 Cardinals ahead, 2 down, first inning. Olivares keeping the ball away from Justice. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pendleton at first base. David Justice, he came on, remember, replacing Dale Murphy a couple of years ago and won the Rookie of the Year honors. 28 homers. And then last year he missed a good part of the season with an injury. Came back and he got hot in the second half and helped lead the Braves to the title. Pendleton on his way to third. The ball juggled in right, and he will go back to third. Alicea runs the ball back in. It's a double for David Justice.
As a first baseman, when you're holding the runner on, you have to break towards second base to cover the hole, and this ball is hit behind him. No chance for Galarraga to do anything. Nice stop down there by Jose. He hits the cutoff man. That's what keeps Pendleton from scoring.
So now Sid Bream will try and bring them home. Braves trailing 1-0, but 2 men in scoring position. And here in Atlanta, they're beginning this ritual that drew so much attention to the Braves and the Braves fans last year. Sid Bream, former Pittsburgh Pirate. A strike on the outside. Bream is hitting .273, gets 7 homers, 46 RBI. You see there, even without many home runs, he's hit well with men in scoring position. Right to Gilkey, and the side is retired. He hit it hard, but Gilkey was there. So 2 hits for the Braves, no runs. 1-0 Cardinals after 1. Nothing. The Cardinals leading Atlanta. This is John Miller along with Joe Morgan. The Atlanta Braves, National League champions a year ago, lost the World Series to the Minnesota Twins in the 7th game, and what a great series it was. And then here they are back on top a year later. It is Woodson, and he takes a strike.
Woodson is here because they sent Todd Zeal to the minor leagues to try to get his stroke straightened out, which really surprises me a little bit. Todd Zeal, you know, has been with the Cardinals for the last couple of years. He led them in home runs and runs batted in last year with 11 homers and 81 runs batted in. Now he's in the minor leagues.
That foul ball comes back out of play.
And I guess my question would be, Don Baylor is the hitting instructor for the St. Louis Cardinals. If you send a player to the minor leagues, who works with him in the minor leagues? He's at Louisville, and you just wonder who's going to work with him to help him straighten out his mistakes. Sometimes you send a player to the minor leagues, it really hurts more than it helps. I understand what they're trying to accomplish, but it doesn't always work that way. First of all, because the player's been in the major leagues and he's got a major league attitude, and you send him to the minor leagues and he's not going to adjust too well to that transition. So it's going to be a very difficult thing, in my opinion, for Zeal to straighten himself out this year.
2-2 to Woodson, former Dodger, and it's a ball inside. So 3-2 the count to Woodson. Pagnazzi and Alicea will follow. Joe Torre was talking about the demotion of Zeal before the game. That is a high pop-up. Bream over. Nope. Got the glove on it. Still 3-2 to Woodson.
Anytime you start to get close to the railings and you're under a full head of steam, you have to try to slow down to catch yourself. So he looks at the railing to find it. and actually that's what causes him to lose the ball. In fact, he got there in plenty of time, but it hit him on the heel of the glove.
3-2 the count. And he pops this one up. Here we go again. Bream, he's got this one.
Well, Bream has a big knee brace on his right leg, so he's not the swiftest of first basemen anyway. But he's going all out here, and he's moving really well. Now he finds the rail again, so he knows where he is. And he makes the catch and avoids the other part of the rail. And he's just happy that he got that one, so he wouldn't have to make a run over there again.
Now Todd Ozzie, right-handed batter. 260. And strike one. Ozzie, the regular catcher, has been in 110 games and committed only one error. Which kind of typifies the Cardinals as a team. From shortstop, there is Blauser. Out number 2. 2 down. 1-0 Cardinals. Don't forget, now tomorrow live on ESPN at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific, the Volvo International Championship match. Top-seeded Stefan Edberg versus number 8 seed Malavia Washington from Michigan. And Washington today defeated Santoro of France 6-4, 6-2. Edberg defeated Ivan Lendl today 7-6, 4-6, 6-3. So the finals tomorrow right here on ESPN, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. Edberg and Washington. Here is Alicea, been playing most of the second base innings this year because of injuries to Jose Oquendo. Oquendo has only been in 11 games all year. He's been on the disabled list 3 different times, including right now. Alicea hitting .255, 1 homer, 20 batted in, and he is a switch hitter. Cardinals have 4 switch hitters currently active, and Oquendo is a switch hitter, except when he's injured. 2-1 the count. That was a close one. Lebrand wanted it. 3-1. The plate umpire Dana DeMuth. Harry Darling at first, Harry Wendelstedt at second, Randy Marsh at third.
If you're going to hit Charlie Lebrand, you have to be patient, and Alicea has shown a lot of patience in this at bat so far.
In the right center field, Otis Nixon. Nice play. 3 up, 3 down. 1-0 Cardinals after 1.5. All right, and the Twins. Some of the players were none too pleased that the Atlanta Braves, who lost that World Series, were seemingly getting more publicity as being the best team in baseball than were the Twins. There is a strike to Jeff Blauser. Well, right now, the Braves are the hottest team in baseball, and the Twins are going to have to make some kind of a great comeback if they're going to win and beat out Oakland in the American League West. Still 6 games out because they won today, but so did Oakland. Oakland defeated Baltimore today. And the owner of the Atlanta Braves is here with his Atlanta Braves cap on and his look of the woodsman. He must have been out at the ranch in Montana. There's Ted Turner alongside his wife Jane Fonda, enjoying the ball game here tonight, sitting down right behind the Atlanta on deck circle.
It was interesting. John Peter Pasquarelli and I were coming back to the booth, and I see this guy walking towards me. He says, "Hi, Joe," and I couldn't tell who it was. I'd never seen Ted with a beard before. And he said, "You're just letting it grow a little bit." He looks very different there than the Ted Turner that I've known all these years. But he's having a good time. And I think the one thing he said to me, he said, "Joe, I know how you felt all those years now being in a pennant race, and I can get used to this," he said.
Hey, he's got that huge ranch out in Montana. He's got that ranch type look now. He's starting to look like Jack Palance in City Slickers, you know it? What was his name? Jack Palance was, his name was Curly in that movie. That's a foul off to the right. 2-2. Now we're being told that Ted Turner is in a TNT movie playing a Confederate soldier. So he's in costume. How about that? In foul ground, this is Pagnassi. And there is one away. Bowser retired. Been a hot hitter of late. Got him here. Now coming up Thursday night, quarterback Dan Marino and his Marx Brothers receiving corps of Mark Clayton and Mark Duper, plus the newest addition to the Dolphins backfield, running back Bobby Humphrey. They'll be facing the New Orleans Saints. Their immovable defense led by Pat Swilling and Ricky Jackson, quarterback Bobby Hebert, and rookie running back Vaughn Dunbar. That'll be this Thursday night on ESPN, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. There's a bunt attempt by Olson. Strike one. Greg Olson, Atlanta catcher, batting .242. 3 home runs. 1-0. The Cardinals leading. We're in the last of the second. And it is too low. By the way, that game in Baltimore, a sellout at Memorial Stadium. They're hoping to get an NFL expansion team there. And that game was sold out within a couple of hours of putting a ticket on sale. 2-1 the count.
Oh, when you think about football, I wonder what Deion Sanders was thinking today when the Atlanta Falcons opened their new Dome Stadium, and Brian Jordan of the Cardinals, who is in the minor leagues now. Both have opted to play baseball this season, and you just wonder what goes through their mind as the season gets close, for football. I think that if you can play baseball, you're better off playing baseball. Your career is longer, but it's also a little tougher to get to the major leagues and be a star in baseball, I think, than it is in football.
Olivares right back to him, and he throws out Greg Olson. 2 down in the Atlanta second inning. Well, Deion, of course, has opted to play baseball at least for part of the season. That's what they're wondering here in Atlanta. Will he finally decide to play a whole baseball season? The Braves have offered him a deal where he could go play for the Falcons on Sundays and come back play for the Braves maybe Monday through Thursday. Except Jerry Glanville, the coach of the Falcons, has said, no, that's not acceptable to us.
And I don't blame him.
There's a strike on the outside, 0-1 to Mark Lemke.
The mentality for the two sports is completely different. You're working all week in football, looking at film, getting ready for the opponent. Baseball, you're facing a different pitcher every day. So I think both sports require 100% concentration from a player throughout the week.
Well, the Braves have made that offer. However, they also know that Glanville won't accept it on the Falcons side. So sort of a non-risk offer. 2-1 the count. So Deion having to make that decision, and he blasted the Atlanta Falcons organization in the papers here the other day for what he called their plantation mentality. And it is 3-1. And then he in turn got blasted by a lot of the fans and the local media for some of those comments. And a columnist today allowed us how the feeling here was that Deion was stringing both teams along, and they were tired of it. There's a foul.
If anyone's being strung along, I'd have to say it's the Falcons, because he's here playing for the Braves. The Braves are getting their money's worth.
But even John Sherholtz has said enough is enough, and has put a deadline on it now. Deion's going to have to decide one way or the other in the next few days, and he said that he will. Into the hole. Ozzie got it, but he has no play on Lemke. Base hit.
Ozzie Smith on AstroTurf plays deeper, and he may be able to cut some of these balls off and make a throw. On regular turf, he's running away from the ball, away from first base. No chance for him to even make a throw on that play.
Ozzie Smith, and will he be a Cardinal come next year? There's a lot of speculating about that going on in St. Louis. And there's a strike to Charlie Lebrand, the Atlanta pitcher. Charlie is 4 for 42 as a hitter.
It's interesting, Lebrand's batting from the right side, which exposes his left arm. Most of your pitching coaches do not want their pitchers to hit and expose their pitching arm. We think that Lebrand would be a left-handed hitter and protect his left arm.
He can't hit one way or the other.
Well,
who's going to throw in there?
That's why if you can't hit one way or the other, you may as well protect yourself and get on the other side. I've seen a lot of pitchers over the years become left-handed hitters to protect their left arms.
1-2 the count to Lee Brandt. 1-0 the Cardinals ahead in the second. Woodson can't handle it. Lemke safe at second base. Lee Brandt safe at first. An error on Woodson.
Well, Woodson had more time on the play than he realized. Lee Brandt doesn't run that well. He gets out of the box slowly, and all he had to do was come up with it, and he would have had plenty of time. And he makes an ill-advised throw. Smart play by Galarraga coming out to meet it, make sure it doesn't get away and doesn't give Lemke a chance to move over to third.
And an error by the Cardinals. Only the 66th time this year the Cardinals have committed an error. There's Otis Nixon. Galarraga to Olivares for the putout on the fleet-footed Nixon, and the inning is over. 4 left out for the Braves in 2 innings. Atlanta Stadium, it's another sellout tonight, and almost every game these days is a sellout at Atlanta Stadium. They have already set the all-time franchise attendance record, not just in Atlanta Braves history, but dating back to their days in Milwaukee as well, when they were the greatest draw in the National League back in the 50s. They have gone past 2.3 million already in attendance here, and the last 30 games have all been sold out. Here is the pitcher, Omar Olivares.
And he is a good hitter. Olivares swings the bat very well. As I said, he is a good athlete. He runs well, swings the bat well. He's hitting .283. He has a home run as well.
15 hits in 53 at-bats. Changed up on him, did Lee Brandt. 1 ball, 1 strike. He treated him like a hitter.
Well, I think you have to pitch to him that way simply because he can hurt you. And if he doesn't hit a home run, he can still hit a double because he runs well. He's a good base runner.
That is a foul ball. Now, Joe Torre, before the ball game, talking about the Cardinals and the future, said they need a big bopper in the middle of that batting order, a run producer. And he feels like the pitching is going to be very strong. He thinks they're going to be very strong with their pitching for a number of years to come. So he's very high, guys like Olivares and guys that they have already. That's fair ball, and Olson throws him out.
Good play by Olson. He jumped out very quickly, grabbed it before it could spin foul, and threw Olivares out. Yeah, but I mean, it's very easy to say you need a big bopper in the middle of the lineup, but I think most teams could say that, and they do need one. That's why they tried Pedro Guerrero in left field. There's a screwball from Lee Brandt. See, the ball starting to roll foul, but good play by Olson to grab it before it could get foul.
So with 1 out, we go to the top of the Cardinals batting order, and here is Bernard Gilkey. He led off the game with a double, and then later Felix Jose drove him in, the only run of the game. 1-0, St. Louis leading here. Strike 1. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. Also, Torrey says that they want to keep Ozzie Smith. Whether or not they'll be able to at this point, he doesn't know. He says he thinks Ozzie at this late date now has decided maybe that he'd like to go out and just find out what he is worth in the open market.
Well, you know, Ozzie Smith has been a Cardinal for a long period of time, and I'm sure he probably hopes to remain a Cardinal. But since it has gone this long, he probably figures he has nothing to lose.
And that's a little bit low. Now, earlier in the year, apparently, there's a little different story because the feeling was, well, if Ozzie leaves, we've got Oquendo, who is himself a very fine shortstop. He'll just move over there, and the club will get younger. But Oquendo has missed almost the whole season with a series of injuries. So now they don't know about Oquendo's future. It's a foul down the right field line. Dave Justice gave chase, but it's back out of play. 2-2 the count to Gilkey. Cardinals, a lot of people thought they might be one of the surprise teams in the National League East this year.
Well, after their performance last year, I think that's what it was based on. They looked like they were closing the gap between themselves and Pittsburgh. Now I don't think they have.
Just missing with that one. 3-2 the count to Gilkey.
The real gap between themselves and Pittsburgh is when they play each other. They've only won 2 of 12 games. That's a 10-game spread right there. And you know, if they split those games or come close, they're back in, they're back in the race.
Little half swing. Bream got a little tough hop on it, but he makes the unassisted put out. Gilkey retired, 2 down.
The last at bat, Ozzie Smith, trying to hit the opposite way, had a few chances. Watch these pitches. In here is where's the first one. You want the ball in the middle of the plate, but watch where Lee Brandt throws the ball. He's trying to go the other way. Look at this funny swing he has to take just to make contact and, stay alive. Now the next pitch after this is down and away. And again, you want the ball in this area, but the pitch is down and away. All Ozzie can do is reach out and ground it back to the pitcher.
There's a liner over the head of Deion Sanders by Ozzie. He's heading for second. Here comes a throw offline, and a stand-up double for Ozzie Smith.
And just what we showed you is the difference in the first at bat as opposed to this at bat. Now watch, he gets a pitch to hit here. He gets a pitch to hit here right in the middle of the plate in the area that we talked about, and he drives it over the head of Deion Sanders. I'm sorry, Deion's in left.
So with 2 down, Ozzie is in scoring position, and here is Ray Langford to try and score him. Langford, the RBI leader for the Cardinals. Check swing, strike, and it's 0-1. Langford, also the home run leader, and the doubles leader, and the stolen base leader,
and the leader,
and the walks leader. Maybe that's why he's hitting third now instead of leadoff. And Torrey says that he'd have a lot more RBIs, but he hit leadoff a good part of the year. And Blauser at least keeps it on the infield so that Ozzie cannot score. Ozzie has to stop at third on the infield single by Langford.
The one thing you're always taught as a middle infielder especially is anytime there are 2 outs and a runner at second base, keep the ball on the infield. You smother it any way you can or do whatever you can to keep it on the infield. This pitch is a little slider down and away, maybe a cut fastball. He doesn't hit it hard, but he hits it in the right spot, and no chance for Blauser to do anything except hold on to it. But a good job by Jeff Blauser to keep it on the infield.
A lot of speed in the base pass now. Langford at first base with 36 steals. Ozzie Smith at third base with 29 steals. But here's a guy hitting 400 at least when he's batting right-handed. And in this game, Felix Jose, as a right-handed hitter, singled home a run in his only at bat.
Well, Lee Brandt has picked off 2 batters this year. He doesn't have a great move. He hesitates at the top, but he's already made his mind which way he's going to go. See that little hesitation there? It works to his advantage against some runners, but if you're a good base stealer and you can read him, it works to his disadvantage because he holds it a little longer at the top.
Two on, 2 out. The Cardinals leading 1-0 and threatening to get more. Felix Jose, the hitter.
He had him leaning the wrong way, but because of the hesitation, he was able to get back. That's what I'm saying. It works to his advantage against, I'd say, average base runners, but a good base stealer, really, it works to his disadvantage. Langford has actually started his move towards second base, but because of the hesitation, he's able to get back to first easily. Pendleton comes in and yells something at him.
At Lee Brandt. Oh, look out, Ozzie. And Bucky shot that one hard, but foul. 0-1.
When you have runners at first and third, you have to be aware of the double steal. If Langford takes off from first, do you throw through to second base, or do you keep Ozzie from trying to attempt to score on the throw to second base? And you see Pendleton trying to keep Ozzie Smith close, but he's not able to.
There's that changeup, and it misses. 1 ball, 1 strike to Felix Jose, who right now is hitting .408 as a right-handed hitter.
So the question is, do you let him hit, or do you wait until he gets 2 strikes and then send the runner?
Well, if they're going to send him at all, I guess it will be with 2 strikes, because that's what they've got now on Jose. 1 and 2.
If I was managing, I would have done the same thing. I would let him hit until he got 2 strikes, give him a chance, and now I would send the runner. I would make the Atlanta Braves make a play.
Langford being held in the bag at first as Bream is right on the bag. Smith down the line from third. You saw Liebrandt looking him back. 1-0. The Cardinals already ahead here in the third.
On top of that, the Braves have not been good at throwing out runners at second base. So that would, you know, be a plus.
They've allowed 115 steals and have thrown out 57. See that Charlie Liebrandt does like to throw to first, as we've discovered here. Runner not going. Check swing and a foul. It is 1 and 2.
The reason I would send him with 2 strikes is just pitches like that, because Charlie Liebrandt will not give Felix Jose a good pitch to hit now that he has 2 strikes. He will throw something up and in, something sinking down and away. He will try to get him to chase a bad pitch, which means that he's not going to get a real good swing unless Liebrandt makes a mistake. So the question is, do you use your speed, or do you let it stay at first and third? And I'm sure Joe Torre has his own mind made up about that.
There goes Langford, and that is a high foul driven down the left field line and way up into the lower deck down there. So it is 1 and 2, and Langford will have to go back to first.
And if he wouldn't have sent him, I was going to have to talk to Joe Torre, because Joe and I have talked a lot of times about baseball and the fact that if you have speed, you have to use it. It doesn't do you any good to have speed and not use it. And so Joe Torre uses his speed very well over the years, and that's why I figured he would send him after he got 2 strikes. Now I think he would tell Langford if he gets a good jump to go.
Liebrandt steps off the rubber. Well, the Cardinals have stolen more bases than any other team in the National League except one, Montreal. And with all of that speed the Expos possess, they've only stolen 3 more times than have the Cardinals. Langford not running. Too bad.
Yeah. But again, he's not going to get a good pitch to hit.
2 and 2 the count. 2 out, 2 on, top of the third. We're in Atlanta. The first place Braves trailing the St. Louis Cardinals 1-0. The cleanup man, Felix Jose, the hitter, trying to deliver some more runs here. He singled home one his first time. I'm John Miller along with Joe Morgan. This is Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN from Atlanta. Langford not running. And caught by Lemke. The side is retired. Jose hit a shot, but right to Lemke. 1-0 Cardinals.
Obviously, these guys knew a lot about Bud. But was it possible they learned it all on TV?
I think it was on TV.
That Bud, that's beer.
We watch TV. We've never seen this stuff.
Budweiser beer, the king is second to none.
Exclusive Beechwood aging gives you a taste and drinkability you find only in Budweiser.
I mean, how could we have missed it?
Oh, maybe you guys should get out more.
Tonight, from Atlanta Stadium, Sunday Night Baseball, Deion Sanders and the Atlanta Braves. Deion, perhaps about to make a career decision. He has been quoted as saying that sometime early this week he wants to decide whether it's going to be baseball or football, and he's got a base hit. Dion has been slumping of late. He gets a clean single to right field there.
I was wondering if he's going to wait till his average drop below 300 and then maybe go join the Falcons.
Makes you wonder, what if he gets 4 hits tonight? What will his decision be then? Deion Sanders. He's still, even though when Nixon came back, Dion ceased being an everyday player, Dion still leads the major leagues in triples. Got 13 triples. He also has 21 stolen bases. Here's Pendleton. The Braves are trailing by 1. Strike 1 to Pendleton. Pendleton singled his first time. Neon Deion Sanders. He's now 25 years of age. Just turned 25 2 weeks ago. Terry Pendleton. A strike. And quickly, Olivares is ahead of the count, 0-2. Dave Justice is on deck. The Braves have had some chances here against Olivares. They've had 4 base runners in the first 2 innings, and now another one here. But this is the first time they've gotten anybody on base before there were 2 outs in the inning. And dives back, and it was fairly close. You see 21 steals and 30 attempts this year.
Well, Olivares has very quick feet, and that's what it demands to have a good pickoff move, and that's a good throw over. Dion back just ahead of the tag by Galarraga.
And back again.
We'll see if Olivares continues his pattern of anytime he gets 2 strikes on the hitter, he goes with the split-fingered fastball, which is something that the Redbirds have tried to get him to change. But he's done so this entire ball game so far. No, good pitch.
1-2.
Well, an 0-2 pitch was a fastball instead of the split-fingered fastball. It's the heavy fastball, a 90-mile-an-hour plus fastball. It kind of moves in on Pendleton. Pendleton hits from an open stance, so he has to close to generate some bat speed. When he started to close there, the ball was right on top of him.
And Dion diving safely back to the bag again. There's Bobby Cox. Probably looks like he's looked like they're tense over there, didn't he? For a guy who won 54 and lost 20 the last 74 games.
They've lost, 2 out of 3, and for Bobby, that's a real slump. The way they've been playing, they've been playing so well. They broke a 2-game losing streak last night, but they've been playing so well. I mean, anytime you lose a couple of games, you think you're in a slump. You don't want it to continue.
That's right. They lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Lost Thursday and again Friday, much to the shock of the Braves fans. Just missing outside. 2-2 the count to Pendleton. Well, also, the way they lost those games was kind of troublesome, because Thursday they lost a 2-0 9th-inning lead in Montreal. And, of course, the bullpen has been a place where the Braves have not been as strong as they have been everywhere else. And Alejandro Pena, in fact, is going to miss a couple of games. He won't pitch here tonight. He's been the closer. Sanders runs. Base hit into center field. And Sanders will go to third.
Well, Olivares put himself in a position for this. He got to a 2-2 count, and that is a perfect hit and run count, because you know he's going to be close to the plate. He's not going to waste one. He had Pendleton 0-2. He worked the count to 2-2, and now Sanders runs. Pendleton gets a low fastball and just lines it into right center field. Pendleton is a 300 hitter, so 2 strikes doesn't bother him all that much.
So the table is set now for the cleanup man, David Justice, who hit a double his first time. 1-0 Cardinals, but runners at first and third, nobody out. Ball 1.
There comes a time in the game when if you are a power pitcher, you have to go to the power. I think that time has come. Even though Dave Justice is a good fastball hitter, and likes the hard stuff, I think you have to challenge him because you have the ball in your hand, and it's tougher to hit a 90-mile-an-hour sinker than it is that changeup right there with a runner at third.
During this run, where the Braves have gone 54 and 20, Dave Justice has hit .294 coming into play tonight. So, as was the case last year when he got it going coming back from the disabled list, that's when they got it going.
Now he has to give him a fastball anyway.
3-0.
It's always better to throw the fastball to a fastball hitter early in the count than it is after he's seen a couple of pitches and he can set up for a cripple. The reason is he's been able to gauge your speed for 2 or 3 pitches.
And it's a 4-pitch walk to Justice. The bases are loaded for Sid Bream. Joe Coleman, Cardinals pitching coach, has been dispatched to the mound by Joe Torre.
What you see there is Bobby Cox talking to Clarence Jones about the way that Dave Justice was taking those pitches. Justice was keeping his front shoulder in, thus he wasn't swinging at a lot of bad pitches, even though they were just missing.
So the Braves now with a chance for a big inning here. Chance to break this one open early. We're in the third, and the Braves are trailing. But the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Here's the pitch to Dave Justice. Watch his front shoulder. See how it stays in there? And that keeps you from swinging at bad pitches. If you pull off, you're going to swing at bad pitches. He did not pull off. He stayed it in, kept his head in.
And the fans doing that chop and chanting Sid for Sid Bream. Tagging at third is Sanders. Langford knows that Sanders is just too fast. It's all tied up.
There's no such thing as a too shallow fly ball for Deion Sanders to score on. The ball was medium deep center field, and Deion was tagging up. He was going to go all the way. And actually a smart play by Langford, because if he throws to the plate, it may allow Pendleton to go over to third. So he did a good job. Now the double play is still in order, and you still have the runners at first and second.
It'd be hard to think of too many runners where he wouldn't have thrown, but
right, exactly. I mean, if anyone else is at third base, I believe he would have thrown.
Now Blauser. So the Braves have one home, but still 2 men on and only 1 out. Foul ball. Blauser has been a hot hitter. His season's average up to 240, which tells you how poorly he had done earlier this year. Blauser has 13 for his last 30 since August the 8th.
Ozzie Smith walked in and yelled something at Oliveris, and the reason was Ozzie is playing Blauser up the middle in double play position. He threw him a slow curve and he pulled it foul. That's what he wants him to do, throw him something hard.
0-2.
You see Ozzie Smith, the shortstop, is playing near the bag at second base, which leaves a big hole on the left side because Tracy Woodson's actually closer to the line once the play starts. When you throw a hitter a slow curve, he has a chance to hit that hole. They're set up for him to form hard sinkers so they can make the double play, and that's what Ozzie went in and yelled at him.
That is a foul back into the crowd. 0-2 the count. 1 out, 1 in. There's Pendleton at second base, and Justice over at first base. The Braves have 5 hits in this game already against Olivares. They've also received a walk. There was an error committed by Woodson. So they've had 7 base runners in the first 3 innings of the game. Only 1 run.
If there's one problem I see with Oliveris, every once in a while he has a tendency to overthrow his sinker and it stays up instead of getting the good sinking rotation to get the ground ball that he needs in this situation.
And he gets the strikeout here. Two down with two on. Let's go to Chris Berman.
All right, John, maybe the Braves looking for long ball. Tell you who got long ball today. Budweiser takes us to Milwaukee. Rob Bombardier. Second game off the DL, second homer. Homer number 25, tied it at 2 in the 5th. Then the top of the 9th, the base hit. Late in the winning run, Milwaukee finally fell. They lost to Detroit 3-2 the Brewers. Stay 3.5 behind Toronto. Back to you.
All right, it's 1-1 here as Greg Olson comes up and takes ball 1 from Omar Olivares. Greg Olson hit a comebacker his first time. Olson, a career minor leaguer who persevered. Thought about hanging it up many times. He got a shot with the Braves and made good on it. And then, of course, was on the big stage in the World Series last October. And who can forget one of the early games of that World Series, the play at the plate where Dan Gladden crashed into him and upended him. At one point, Olson was on his head. And that picture ended up in Sports Illustrated and newspapers all across the country. But he held on to the ball. There's one game in that series. It was a game 3 here in Atlanta where both Olson and the Twins' Brian Harper, seemed like every inning one of them was getting clobbered in a play at the plate. And they always held on to the ball. Lemke would be next. Braves had a chance for a big inning here, but only one is home. There's ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Lemke.
As Joe Torre looks on, he knows that Olivares is overthrowing the fastball, and they've talked to him about it. There's not a lot you can do other than continue to drill in his mind that he has to have more rhythm with the fastball, and he doesn't have to overthrow it.
Mark Lemke, in the World Series last year, he batted .417, a career batting average of .225, but in his first series, .417. He hit 3 triples in the World Series, tying a major league record. He had 2 triples in game 5 alone. And he drove in the winning run in game 3, which was the Braves' first win of the World Series. Bases loaded here. The Braves in a tie with the Cardinals. 1-1, 2 down. There's that forkball and it misses. 2-0 to Lemke. You've got Pendleton at third base, Justice at second, and Olson is at first. Talking to Pat Corrales. Joe Torre, the brim of his cap gets lower and lower as the game goes along. The catcher, Ozzie, out to speak to Olivares. Now they're going to get the bullpen busy. It is Jose De Leon. So a big moment in the game here. Although we're only in the 3rd, the Braves with a chance to open up a nice early lead. But there are 2 down. Olivares behind 2-0. 3-0. By Galarraga to Olivares, and the Braves only get 1. 3 left. They've left 7 men on in 3 innings. Ski Park Wednesday with Gary Thorne and Dave Campbell, and we hope you'll tune in. White Sox have been playing real well of late. Here is Andres Galarraga, and he takes ball 1. It is 1-1 here. The Atlanta Braves have had an all-out assault against Omar Olivares, but have only 1 run to show for it in the first 3 innings. And that is a ball 2-0 to Galarraga. Woodson and Pagnazzi will follow. lined out to right to end the first inning. Deep to left. Sanders going back, and you can forget about it. Home run. Andres Galarraga with his 7th home run of the year. 2-1 for the Cardinals.
Well, the ball carries well here in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, and he hits this one right over the spot that Hank Aaron hit number 715 to break Babe Ruth's all-time record. The big cat likes the ball middle of the plate in. He also likes the ball up, and he gets both. And he drives it right over the 715 sign, and a souvenir for the fans. Number 7 for Big Cat.
And nearly a month since he last hit one. July the 29th was the previous home run by Galarraga. 2-1. The Cardinals back in front. Here is Woodson. Ball 1. Woodson fouled out to first his first time. Maybe a little disheartening for the Braves. They had all kind of things going on. Bases loaded, nobody out. There's a base hit off the end of the bat by Woodson.
I remember Woodson playing for the Dodgers. He actually swings the bat pretty well. Pretty smart hitter. And that's what you need to be to handle Leibrandt, because he makes you go the other way and then it'll come back inside. Good piece of hitting there by Woodson, going the other way with Leibrandt's pitch outside.
And Joe Torre says that Woodson has been given them a real lift since he came on, with Zeal going out. He's not only hit well, but he's just kind of a hard-nosed player.
Right.
Plays hard and hustles everything out. He's at first. Here is Pagnazzi. Cardinals have 6 hits now against Leibrandt. Woodson easily back.
Well, Leibrandt's only going to pick you off if you're breaking completely, because with that hesitation at the top, he allows the runner to get back to first base safely. So you have to be really breaking towards second in order for him to pick you off.
Down the right field line. Foul. Strike 1 to Pagnazzi. He grounded to short his first time. We want to send along happy birthday wishes to Logan Davis, who is celebrating his first birthday tonight. And his dad, Mark Davis, is here in Atlanta, sitting out in the Atlanta bullpen. Logan is down with Candy Davis and the family in Kansas City, where the family's home still is. There's the pitch out. They think, what, Joe, the hit and run's on here?
Well, they had to be thinking hit and run, not steal. Woodson has not attempted a stolen base since he's been with the Cardinals, so they would have to be thinking that it was going to be a hit and run there. Pagnazzi is also taking a shot to right field, so that would let him know that he's going the other way, and that's what you do on a hit and run. Try to hit behind the runner.
1 ball, 1 strike. Pagnazzi swinging at a pitch that was down around his ankles there. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Again, Leibrandt is a smart pitcher. If he thinks you're going the other way trying to hit the hole on the right side, he'll just come inside, and he did there, and Pagnazzi had to pull the ball. Your bat is a lot quicker down low than it is up high, and that's why you pull a lot of low pitches foul.
And is caught by Blauser. Pagnazzi chase that low pitch again. Out number 1. Woodson still at first base. Bream on the bag with him. It's Gary Darling, the umpire over there. And here is Luis Alicea. Cardinals 2, Braves 1.
I saw Alicea in the College World Series, and I thought that he was going to be an exceptional big league player. And I still think that he's a good player, but I felt that he would be a little better because he runs well, he plays defense well, and he can swing the bat, and he's a switch hitter.
Alicea went to Florida State. Went to high school in Puerto Rico, where he is from. His from Santurce, Puerto Rico. He has a brother by the name of Edwin Alicea, who had been drafted by the Atlanta Braves. Alicea was an All-America at Florida State, 1985. And back to the bag at first is Woodson. You see Dave Collins, the first base coach for the Cardinals there, number 15. He was a pretty good base stealer.
Very good base
for a long time. A ball and no strikes. And back to the bag again, Woodson. 2-1. The Cardinals, with all of the base stealing, the fact that they've hit the ball well this year, they're second in the National League in team batting, but they have not scored. Changeup, strike on the outside. Cardinals just very little pop in that batting order.
Here's a little screwball from Lee Brandt that catches the outside corner knee high, and it's strike 2 to Alicea.
Woodson is back. I don't understand why he's spending so much time on Woodson over there.
Well, he figures that he may try a hit and run, and he's hoping to catch him leaning the wrong way. But a good hit and run situation would be Woodson would never take off until Lee Brandt's on his way to the plate.
You mentioned Woodson has not stolen this year. He has 2 steals in his major league career. That's going to fall, base hit. Woodson will stop at second. Alicea now 1 for 2. Hit number 7 for the Cardinals.
If you watch, you see that the Cardinals are all trying to go the other way off of Lee Brandt. Galarraga hit a home run to left field, but Alicea goes the other way, pitches on the outside edge, good piece of hitting. We saw Pagnozzi trying to go the other way, and Woodson had a base hit to right field. So they're making a conscious effort to go the other way off of Lee Brandt. And this meeting looks like that they feel like the Cardinals are getting some signs someplace. And that's why you have all the infielders in, trying to find out if they're getting a sign from one of the infielders. What happens a lot of times is your second baseman or your shortstop, they're looking in for the sign. When they get the sign, they relay it to the first baseman or the third baseman so he can be ready. If you have a strong right-handed hitter up there and a slow curve is coming, the third baseman wants to know that. And I think that's probably what they were doing there. They may have felt the Cardinals, because they're getting these base hits and hitting the ball the other way, they were getting the signs from one of the infielders, not necessarily from the catcher.
There's the bunt. Lee Brandt will go to first. Just in time. Lemke covering. Lee Brandt really wanted to go to third base, but Woodson got a pretty good jump on that one.
Well, he had a shot at third. He just didn't take it. The great thing about a left-handed pitcher in this situation is he's already set up to throw to third. Now watch, when he gets the ball, he's already in position to throw. A right-handed pitcher would have to wheel around and throw to third. See, he has right there. He's got time. But he chooses to go to first. He takes the sure out, and he gets it.
And the sacrifice moves the runners over with 2 down. Here's leadoff man Bernard Gilkey, who has a double tonight and a run scored. He then grounded to first his last time. 2 men in scoring position for the Cardinals. This has been the situation where they have struggled this year. Deion Sanders can't get there. Base hit. And both runs will score. Woodson, then Alicea, and Gilkey gets the big hit. And Deion didn't seem to get any kind of a break on that ball at all out there.
Yeah, I don't think he could catch that one, though, John. That was in the left center field. It's the pitch is up to Gilkey, and he hits it in the left center field. Deion could not get there. No chance. Pitches away, and he hits it off the end of the bat, but he hits it in the exact right spot if you're going to hit it towards the end of the bat, and that's in the deepest part of the outfield, the gaps.
So Bernard Gilkey 2 for 3, and now it is 4-1 for the Cardinals. A 3-run inning. That base hit by Gilkey, that's the one the Cardinals have not been getting much of the year, and it is also the one that the Braves have not been able to get tonight. The Braves, who have had 8 base runners in 3 innings and only 1 run. Back to the bag is Gilkey.
Even though I mentioned Lee Brandt had a chance to get the runner at third base, Woodson, I thought he made the right play, and it does cost him an extra run.
Gilkey back to the bag. The Atlanta bullpen is getting busy now. There is Kent Merker, left-handed. Now they've got Gilkey picked off. No, they don't. They did, and then they didn't. Sid Brain lost it.
That was interesting because Gilkey wasn't going one way or the other. He was just standing there looking. Usually you pick off a base stealer because he breaks. He was not breaking. He was just frozen. See, watch, he's not breaking anywhere. See, I mean, he wasn't going anyplace. He was just standing there, and he gets picked off, and Bream, trying to rush the throw, does not get him at second base. See how they score that.
And it's an error. Charge to Bream, and I would guess that Lee Brandt has to get an assist on the play.
You can't, because he wasn't breaking towards second, he does not get a stolen base. If he would have been breaking towards second, they could have given him a stolen base.
So the Braves with an error. Now Smith, Ozzie, trying to make him pay for it. 3-0 to Ozzie, though. Lee Brandt gets credit for the assist and an error charge to Bream. And Gilkey taking second on that error.
He's being very careful to Ozzie simply because there's a left-handed hitter on deck. But I'm not so sure Bobby Cox wants him to do that. Because as you mentioned, Langford leads the team in RBIs, and Langford can hit a home run, whereas Ozzie Smith does not have a home run this season.
And not too many in any other season. That's ball 4. He walks Ozzie on 4 pitches. So Lee Brandt looking like it's just not his night. We're in the 4th, and he is trailing the Cardinals 4, the Braves 1. And Ray Langford, the 8th man to bat in this inning, coming up for St. Louis. The home run and RBI leader for the Cardinals. He is fouled out to the left fielder tonight, and he has had an infield single. 1 for 2. Gilkey at second, Smith at first. Both run real well. Ball 1. Well, the Braves fans are not used to seeing things like this. Braves go out and they just win. And one thing that they always do also, they go out and they don't give up runs. Lee Brandt, by the way, this will be his 70th pitch of the game. We're only in the 4th inning. So he has labored.
And he has struggled, too.
He has scuffled.
Yeah, scuffle. That is the correct word.
There's some baseball terminology for you. 2-0 the count.
One thing that happens when you are a crafty left-hander and you do not have an overpowering fastball, sometimes you try to be a little too fine and you get yourself in trouble.
2-1. Galarraga led off this inning with a home run to make it 2-1, and then later with 2 down in the inning. Bernard Gilkey got the clutch hit. A 2-run single into left center field to make it 4-1. He's at second, Smith at first. That's a foul off to the left, out of play. 2-2 the count. You know, there was a rumor printed in, I think it was a paper or maybe Baseball Weekly, one of those publications this week, that the Cardinals were willing to trade Felix Jose to the Yankees for a minor league first baseman by the name of J.T. Snow, who some people think is going to be a very good player with power. He's a home run hitter. But Buck Showalter of the Yankees doesn't want to give him up. Strike three on the outside. But 3 runs have scored for the Cardinals. They lead the ball game 4-1 as we head to the last of the 4th inning. Andres Galarraga with his 7th homer of the year to get the rally started. Charlie Rebrand says, hey. The first place Atlanta Braves. They have been running wild in the National League East, beating all comers. But now they are trailing 4-1 to the St. Louis Cardinals. But it is early. Jeff Treadway out of the dugout to bat for Charlie Lebrad, and then the top of the order will follow him. Otis Nixon and Deion Sanders. Treadway takes ball 1. Treadway hit .320 last year as Atlanta's second baseman. Got hurt in the spring this year, and it was feared for a while he might miss the whole season. He's back, but he's not hitting all that well. Only .220, but he's only had 82 at bats. 1 ball, 1 strike. Omar Olivares. Wicked-looking slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, Joe Olivares struggled in those first 3 innings. Could have blown up and given up 4 or 5 runs. Got through it. Now he's got a 3-run lead.
Yeah, but he is still going to have to get his rhythm down and start throwing more strikes. I think he's still overthrowing the fastball. And you're mentioning Treadway. You know, Treadway's not happy being a bench player now, even though he's back after the injury. He feels that he wants to play every day, and if he doesn't get to play every day, he wants to get traded.
Out of play, 2-2. There were a lot of stories during the winter that they were trying to trade him. That they liked the look of the ball club with Lemke out there.
Well,
because of his defense.
Right,
yeah.
Defensively, Lemke is a little stronger than Treadway. Treadway's the better hitter.
And he's got a hit. Pinch hit for Treadway. Hit number 6 for Atlanta.
We mentioned anytime he gets ahead of the count, he throws this split-fingered fastball. Ball goes right between his legs. Kind of hits off the edge of the rubber. And Alicea gives chase, but he can't get to it.
Otis Nixon. He has struck out on a bunt attempt, bunting it foul, and he's grounded to first. To third. Woodson to second one. Alicea. No. Woodson was waiting for Alicea to get there. Double pumped in his sort of second, but not easy to double up Otis Nixon.
Well, anytime you double pump, it's over anyway. And we'll see Woodson when he gets ready to throw it the first time. Right here. See, Alicea's not there. Now he takes another step. Gets it to Alicea, but it's too late because Nixon runs so well. He should have thrown it a little sooner, even though Alicea was on the run. But when you have the lead, you do not want to make mistakes, so you make sure one. Good play by Woodson.
Deion Sanders singled and scored in the 3rd inning. Swag, it's 0-1. Deion's average for the year now at .303. Deion has had 271 at-bats this year. He's hit 8 homers, got 13 triples, and oddly enough, only 6 doubles. More homers and more triples than doubles. That's a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of times doubles come as a result of the way that the defense plays you. And since they play him rather shallow, anytime he hits the ball hard enough to get it between them, it's going to be a triple. And when he hits it real hard, it's a home run.
In the dirt, but Galarraga is able to pull it out.
The big cat can pick it at first now.
Yeah.
He was Gold Glove winner when he was at the Montreal Expos.
That's a high foul off the third base side. Woodson over. Out of play. 1-2 the count. So the Braves starter, the veteran Charlie Lebrad. Not tonight for Charlie. 74 pitches in only 4 innings. 4 runs and 8 hits allowed. So he's finished. We will see Kent Merker in the 5th inning. Merker's all set to go. ball and 2 strikes.
Very good swing there by Dion. Good level swing. He just fouled it back, but he had a good cut. Got the barrel of the bat out front. Very good swing. He has a slight hitch there. See how he drops his bat and then tries to get it back up. Gets it back up, and a good swing right there. If he makes contact with that one, he can do some damage.
Terry Pendleton on deck, and now Pagnozzi is going to go out and speak to Olivares.
Well, of course, you as the catcher, you want to run the game, but you also want the pitcher to be comfortable with what you're calling. You know, you try to be on the same wavelength. Obviously, they are not in this particular case, and they want to discuss their differences and, you know, say who has the better idea of the two to get this guy out. And Joe Torre is just hoping that they make the right decision. You go over the hitters in a meeting before the series starts, and sometimes you have to re-emphasize exactly how you want to pitch a guy, and that's why the catcher goes out and tells the pitcher, this is what we want to do.
Nixon is back. Nixon has not been the base dealer this year that he was last, even though, of course, he ended up being suspended last year, having tested positive for drug use. He had over 70 stolen bases a year ago. So Deion Sanders down on strikes.
And Deion chases the off-speed pitch, and he misses it. In fact, he gets a little loop in his swing here, and he kind of comes underneath it. Watch, see, there's a loop. Now he comes underneath it right there. A little more uppercut in this swing than was in the one that I said was a very good swing. But I think that's because it was an off-speed pitch, and he was fooled a little bit out on his front foot, and he had a little more of an uppercut in the swing.
Now here is Pendleton. He twice has singled, 2 for 2. Singled with 2 out in the first, and then singled to Deion Sanders over to third base with nobody out in the third, helping set up the Atlanta run. Pendleton now batting .307 for the year.
The problem Pendleton had before, when he was basically a 250 hitter, he opened up, he hit from an open stance, he would close, but he was too close to the plate, and when he closed, he got hit on the fist a lot. And he got jammed a lot, and the more you get jammed, the more you pull off the pitch. The more you pull off the pitch, the less you hit. So kind of a combination of things. Now he's off the plate enough that he can handle the ball inside. See how far he's off the plate? Now he can handle the ball inside, even though he steps back towards the pitcher when the ball is on its way. A lot of people hit from the open stand because they feel that they get a better look at the ball from the pitcher. They're going a fastball away. You see Pagnozzi set up outside. You have to be careful as a catcher that you do not set up too quickly, because everyone will know where the pitch is going to be, including the hitter.
2-0 to Pendleton. He's had a look at Jimmy Williams, the third base coach.
Same pitch.
2-1. Terry Pendleton. I mean, how do you explain Terry Pendleton? I mean, the Cardinals let him go. He's not hitting. He hit .230 his last year in St. Louis.
But he had some good years there, but the Cardinals, in my opinion, made a mistake with Terry Pendleton. They've gone away twice. Now they're going to try to throw him a slider and get it over.
2-2.
They made, they cleaned house, if you want to use that word, a couple of years ago. They traded Willie McGee, let Vince Coleman go, and also Terry Pendleton. I think Terry Pendleton was definitely a mistake. They got something for both Vince Coleman and McGee. As far as, they traded for McGee, they end up with Felix Jose in right field. So that is not a bad trade. I just think the Pendleton situation was one that they made a mistake on.
But they might not have let him go at all if they'd known he was going to be an MVP the next 2 years.
Yeah, but even if he's not an MVP, he's still a good player.
Dixon running. And the side is retired. 4-1. St. Louis after 4.
World Series, and the shoe polish incident's one of the great plays in World Series history. Here's Felix Jose, and he swings and misses. Felix Jose is 1 for 2 in the ball game. He singled to drive in a run in the first inning, and he lined out with a runner at third in the third inning. Merker on in relief of Leibrandt. Leibrandt ran into problems with his control and was having a lot of problems with the Redbird hitters. Continued to give a lot of base hits and get a lot of runners in the scoring position.
I agree. Just let me get a word in edgewise here, will you?
Okay, you can have.
I'm the play-by-play guy. All right.
I just thought I'd have fun with you.
1-2 to Jose, who is 1 for 2. And 2-2.
Tell you what I'll do. I'll let you do the next telestrator.
Wow. When is that? 3-2. Jose followed by Galarraga and then Woodson here in the 5th inning. 4-1. St. Louis leading. Kent Merker on in relief of Charlie Leibrandt. There's Galarraga on deck. Struck him out.
It looked like a 3-2 slider, and Felix Jose gave up on it. It started outside, but looked like it got a little bit of the outside part of the plate. Yeah, well, it got a lot of the inside part of the plate. And we'll take a look there. Jose thought it was inside.
And strike 1 to Galarraga. Galarraga a home run his first time. Now, speculation is that the Cardinals will let Galarraga go at the end of this year. And it's a foul back toward the screen. Also, that Pedro Guerrero will be let go even before the end of the year.
Well, the Miami Marlins and the Colorado Rockies may have some pretty good players. I really believe that the expansion teams, after they choose this year, will be better than any expansion team in the past because they get to choose from both leagues.
Got him. Nice play by Pendleton. Galarraga is out number 2.
Well, it's a fine play by Pendleton, but also because he has a hamstring problem and he can't really bend down and make the play the way he wants. And watch, he's standing almost straight up. See, he doesn't bend. Has to throw on the run, fires. That's a Gold Glove third baseman for you right there. He's won a few Gold Gloves in his career.
2 down. Here is Woodson. Woodson has fouled the first, singled, and scored a run. Outside from Kent Merker. Merker much harder thrower than Charlie Leibrandt.
And he has a real hard slider as well.
There's a strike to the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. This Braves bullpen has been much maligned this year, and particularly the middle inning relievers. Oh, blew that fastball right past him. But I mean, Merker, we showed his numbers, including the 2 outs in this inning. He's had 58 innings this year of pitching and allowed only 39 hits. But look at that overall. The bullpen has not done well. Waiting for the high hop. Blauser going to have to hurry. In time. Merker retires the Cardinals in order. 4-1 St. Louis after 4.5. And here we go now. The Braves coming to bat in the last of the 5th inning. 4-1, the Cardinals ahead. Dave Justice to lead it off for the Braves here, last of the 5th inning. Justice has doubled and walked in this ball game. Sid Bream and Jeff Blauser will follow. 4-1, St. Louis out front. And ball 1 from Olivares. St. Louis got 1 in the 1st. And then Atlanta got 1 in the 3rd. St. Louis got 3 in the 4th. High pop-up to Ozzie Smith at shortstop. 1 away. The Braves have 6 hits so far against Olivares and have stranded 8 base runners in the first 4 innings against him.
One of the things about Olivares is he's been just erratic enough to be effective. Just wild enough in and out of the strike zone that he's been very effective. Had a few Braves swinging at bad pitches. So he's done a good job of holding them down, even though he's given them a lot of base runners, allowed a lot of base runners.
Sid Bream is thrown out by Woodson. And that is the 2nd out of the 5th inning. Atlanta trailing 4-1 here. Tomorrow, the Volvo International Stefan Edberg will face Malavia, Washington. Washington defeated Fabrice Santoro of France today. 6-4, 6-2. Probably I pronounced it wrong. Stefan Edberg defeated Ivan Lendl today in the semifinals. 7-6, 4-6, 6-3. That's 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific tomorrow morning right here on ESPN. Don't miss it. Here's Jeff Blauser. You'll be there.
Yeah, I watched today. I watched Lendl and Edberg today. It was a good match.
Who won?
Lendl missed a passing shot about an inch. It would have sent the would have tied the match.
Oh, Ivan, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
Unforced error?
Well, he was returning a serve. He had a break going and just missed the line.
Blauser fouls one off to the right. Blauser has fouled to the catcher and struck out. He is 0 for 2. See, I know my tennis terms. I once did play-by-play in a tennis tournament in Washington. Final, Martina Navratilova defeated Manuela Maleva a few years back for the Virginia Slims title in Washington. And I got written up for, nice articles. And what I did was I never said anything. Really. I'd go stuff like 15 love. Or occasionally I'd say, oh, nice passing shot. 4-1, the Cardinals in Atlanta. We're in the last of the 5th inning in Atlanta. The first place Braves trailing in their home ballpark before a sellout house here. More than 40,000 in Atlanta Stadium. I'm John Miller along with Joe Morgan, your Sunday night telecasters. Next Sunday, by the way, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific, 7 Central. We'll be at Shea Stadium, New York. The ball club trying to catch the Braves. Lou Pinella's Cincinnati Reds will be at Shea facing Eddie Murray and the Mets. We hope you'll be with us. That's next Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. Base hit. The 7th hit for Atlanta.
Blauser went and got a new bat, and this one has some base hits in it. He's hoping there are a lot more where that one came from. Again, Olivares gets a pitch, not a bad pitch. It was away, but Blauser reaches out and lines it to left field. Could have been lower, but you can't make perfect pitches on every pitch to every hitter.
Now Greg Olson, the hitter, the 7th place hitter, has hit a comebacker, and he has walked. 2 down, runner at first, ball 1 from Olivares. On deck, Mark Lemke, and then the pitcher would be due up. So if they get a couple of more base runners here, then Bobby Cox would want to use a pinch hitter, and so he's got his bullpen busy just in case. There's a called strike to Olson. There is Mike Stanton warming up in the Atlanta bullpen.
He throws pretty hard too. Another hard-throwing left-hander they have coming out of the bullpen.
It's some outstanding young arms in this ball club. And of course, Bobby Cox, the manager, was the general manager when they were out signing most of those guys. And they booted him downstairs. They brought in John Sherholtz, who has had a great track record as a GM in Kansas City. And I guess you'd say here in Atlanta, too, seeing as how they won a pennant his first year here. There's John Sherholtz.
He relaxed.
Yeah. He's at first place. They're 54-20. I asked him before the game if he thought the Braves needed any shoring up, if he was looking to deal for somebody to strengthen the ball club. He said no. So we feel very confident with what we have right here. Ball 4 to Greg Olson. And here are the Braves. They've got the bases littered with Atlanta Braves again. Third walk by Olivares. He's allowed 6 hits. There's been an error. 10 Braves have reached base in this game, and now Pagnazzi is out to speak to Olivares again. You know, you mentioned, Joe, about Olivares and how he's been pitching tonight, that he some way or the other seems to be making good pitches when he's got somebody in scoring position. The Braves have not had a hit yet in a situation where a hit would score a run.
Well, he's just erratic enough that he has been successful.
Mark Lemke singled in the second, an infield hit, grounded to first in the third. Ball 1. Lemke significantly grounded to first in the third with the bases loaded and 2 down. There's Lonnie Smith. He would be the pinch hitter if Lemke could keep the inning going. And now here comes Joe Torre to the mound to try to figure out what's with Olivares tonight. This young right-hander's thrown a lot of pitches. He's up near 100 pitches already in this game. We're only in the 5th inning. 4-1 Cardinals.
Watching this conversation, I get from the nodding and whatever from Joe Torre saying follow Tom Pagnazzi's lead. He knows how we should pitch these players. And I think that's one of the things that has caused him a problem tonight is he and Pagnazzi have not been on the exact same wavelength the first few innings.
Olivares, 25 years of age, from Puerto Rico. That's a foul ball over the right. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Mark Lemke. 2 on, 2 out. There's Blauser. He singled. He's at second base. And Olson, he walked. He's at first base. Both better to go with anything.
That was interesting. After he went back, Pagnazzi only gave 1 sign, a sinking fastball, and he threw it.
Pagnazzi, and that's the end of the inning. The Braves are now 0 for 8 and at bats with men in scoring position. 4-1 St. Louis after 5. Tonight from Atlanta Stadium, Sunday Night Baseball. And the St. Louis Cardinals trying to take a series from the high-flying Braves. Leading 4-1, top of the 6th. Tom Pagnazzi fouls one off to the right and out of play. Pagnazzi is grounded to short and lined to short. He is 0 for 2. Then Alicea will follow, and finally Olivares. Inning number 6, 4-1 St. Louis. Merker, the second pitcher of the game for Atlanta. Little fly ball, shallow right center, and Nixon, the center fielder. 1 away. The Atlanta Braves in the first 5 innings of this game have left 10 runners on base. The Braves have 7 hits and they have stranded 10, but they have never had a hit when they've had somebody in scoring position. 0 for 8. And Joe, I don't know what's happened. We get to town and we have never seen the Braves win on Sunday Night Baseball. You realize that?
Yeah.
There's Alicea, a strike.
And we've never seen the real Atlanta Braves. They have not played a very good ball game since in the times that we've been here.
We did a game here last year on a Sunday night in Atlanta. The Braves committed what, 6 errors?
Correct. Lost
to the Dodgers before the All-Star break. We did a game earlier this year in LA when they lost and they were playing poorly. Well, now we picked them up when they were hot. Well, it's still relatively early yet.
Well, it's the 6th inning.
Braves have time enough to come back in this game. And Olivares, the St. Louis pitcher, has thrown 99 pitches already. He may not be around that much longer. Right to Breen. Alicea retired, out number 2. The New Orleans Saints thrive in their immovable defense, led by Pat Swilling and Ricky Jackson. Quarterback Bobby Hebert and running back Vaughn Dunbar will all be there at Memorial Stadium, Baltimore. The New Orleans Saints and the Miami Dolphins this Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN. NFL preseason football. Don't miss it. Here's Olivares. Had a huge, wild cut at that one. He was trying to launch one here at a ballpark that has often been called the launching pad over the years. 2 down, nobody out. Merker throwing hard. And it is 0-2.
I'm sure the Cardinals rather see a crafty left-hander than a hard-throwing left-hander.
Well, they knocked around the crafty one.
Yes, they did.
Lee Brandt, 4 innings, 4 runs, 8 hits while he was in there. Merker has retired everybody he's seen. 1-2 to Olivares. Olivares from Mayaguez, Puerto Rico. Last year came up in the minor leagues, and he went 11-7 for St. Louis. And they were penciling him in for 14 or 15, I think, this year. Pendleton throws him out. 4-1 St. Louis after 5.5. All right, we've got an interesting oddity here in Atlanta, a pinch hitting situation. And there, yeah, that's Tom Glavine, the winningest pitcher in the majors, on his way perhaps to a 2nd consecutive Cy Young Award. And Glavine being used as a pinch hitter against Omar Olivares. Takes a sinker for ball 1.
The reason for this is he's the only left-handed pinch hitter that they use. They used Treadway already, who's a switcher, left-hand hitter. Everyone else is right-handed except for Berry here. And you don't want to use your last left-handed pinch hitter this early in the ball game. Well, defensively they're playing him pretty much like a regular left-handed hitter.
Left center field, base hit. Glavine will not do anything more than hold it first. A pinch hit single by the Atlanta pitcher. Tom Glavine, who on the mound has been doing it all, and now he's lending an assist to the offense, which has been struggling.
Well, you said that we haven't seen their best yet, so Glavine is their best pitcher, so they put him in the ball game. Pitches up and out over the plate, and he lines at the left center field. Actually turned into a good play by Langford just to keep the ball from getting past him.
Now here is leadoff man Otis Nixon. Glavine at first, they're not holding him on, and there is ball 1 to Nixon. Glavine is now 1 for 2 as a pitch hitter. He came in with a batting average of .254 for the year. So he can hit. Change up. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nixon.
I know Torrey wants to get more innings out of Olivares, but if he lets the Braves get back too close before he goes to the bullpen, could be a problem. You see him looking over the scorecard to see who's scheduled for the Braves.
That is Perez, the right-hander, Mike Perez, and Bob McClure, the left-hander. Nixon 0 for 3 in the game. 2-2. Pinch hitter, and this crowd loved it. The Braves getting their 8th hit of the game. Tom Glavine is a pinch hitter. Glavine hitting for second, and all hands are safe.
We had a play earlier in the ball game in the second inning with a runner at first. Nixon hit a similar type ground ball. Galarraga came to first base and got Nixon. On this particular play, he wants to go to second base because that is his best shot. He had a shot at Glavine, but he couldn't get the ball out. It's a tough play at first base. See, he's so far in, and he was going to second base because he had an easier play to get Glavine. So this is going to be a tough play for him to hit the pitcher on the dead run. So instead, you go to second base, and he just loses the ball. I think he made the right play, he just lost the ball.
And here comes Joe Torre now. So that may have done it for Olivares, who has been in trouble in every inning of this game anyway. Due up, Deion Sanders, a left-handed hitter. He's got McClure, his specialist for getting out left-handed hitters. 4-1, the Cardinals ahead. 2 men on and nobody out. Indeed, that is all for Olivares. 5 innings plus, and he's gone. We'll be back.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. And by Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
That is the view from Atlanta Stadium of downtown Atlanta. And the fog is rolling into Atlanta. Where do they think they are? San Francisco? Heavy fog is expected here in the morning. Yeah, there's the ESPN tomahawk. It's a big one. I'm John Miller along with Joe Morgan, and that is Bob McClure, still around after all these years, and he's in here to get the left-handed batting Deion Sanders out. McClure, 39 years old, 2 on, nobody out. There's that curveball,
and that's basically what Deion Sanders is going to see. A lot of sidearm curveballs, maybe one from over the top, but Bob McClure throws left-handers almost exclusively breaking balls.
Deion Sanders, Glavine at second, Nixon at first. Another curveball, 0-2 the count. There's Glavine. He got this started with a pinch hit single. And Otis Nixon reaching on the fielder's choice when Galarraga made the error trying to throw to second to force out Tom Glavine. 4-1, the Cardinals lead the Braves. The Braves are in the 6th inning with yet another opportunity. Pendleton is on deck. Too far outside. 1-2 to Deion. Deion has grounded out, singled and scored and struck out. He is 1 for 3 in this game. He has not been facing too many left-handers since early in the season when he was playing all the time. And platooning lately with Ron Gant in left field. Struck him out. So McClure got the left-handed batting Sanders, but now the switch hitting Pendleton is coming up.
Well, he threw Sanders 4 straight curveballs, and he gets him on the 4th when Sanders chases one that breaks down and out of the strike zone. It's very difficult to hit left-handed pitchers if you do not face them, simply because you do not have your confidence against them, and you end up chasing a lot of curveballs. If you face them, you have a better chance of knowing the strike zone and maintaining a strike zone.
Here's the Braves leading RBI man, Terry Pendleton, 2 for 3 in the game. Curveball, too low. Now behind Pendleton, you've got 2 more left-handed batters. And of course, McClure is extremely tough on the lefties. He's been in 54 games this year before tonight and pitched only 41 in the 3rd innings. Into left center field, but Gilkey makes the catch. The runners had gone halfway. They have to return to their bases. The throw to Woodson at 3rd base. Glavine back to second. Nixon back to first.
Pendleton hit it hard, but he hooked the ball, and it hooked back towards the left fielder instead of just going in the gap. And as Gilkey chased it, the ball actually came back towards him. See, the ball is actually hooking back towards him. That's the only reason he was able to run that ball down. The ball was hit awfully hard by Pendleton.
So 2 down, and here is David Justice. He has doubled, walked, and popped to short. Getting Pendleton may have been the key to this inning as far as McClure was concerned. He was the only right-handed batter that McClure was going to have to face.
But he better not hang the breaking ball to Justice or keep it inside.
0-1.
There's the difference between the swing of Justice and the swing of Deion Sanders. Justice faces left-handers, so he's a little more accustomed to seeing the ball start at him and break over the plate, and he had a good swing at that, and it was actually a hanger.
The Braves ever going to break through tonight? Every inning they've had the attack going, but have not been able to finish anything off. They trail 4-1. There is ball 1. Bob McClure, opposing left-handed hitters this year, has held left-handed hitters to a composite batting average of 174. 2 on, 2 out. Strike 2 to Justice. 1-2. The Braves have 8 hits in the game now. The Cardinals have made 2 errors. They've received 3 walks. 13 Atlanta Braves base runners have gotten aboard in this game, and only 1 has scored.
That was a good spot for the slider last pitch. Now he needs to get it down again.
From a fastball. 2-2.
That was just window dressing. If you're hitting against McClure and you're a left-handed hitter, you might as well give him the fastball and just look for the breaking ball. He's going to throw the fastball out of the strike zone. He's not going to let you hit it to hurt him.
Tom Glavine, the runner at second base. He got the pinch hit single to start this. Justice trying to get him home. Way outside. Now it's a full count, 3-2. Tom Glavine, by the way, we did a little research, is the first pitcher to get a pinch hit since 1989. Derek Lilliquist, who's down in the American League, doesn't even bat. He was the last one to do it. And he was with the Braves when he did it.
I think Justice will see another breaking ball here, so he just has to be ready for it.
There go the runners. A high, lazy fly. Left center field. Langford, the side is retired, and the Braves have left 12 men on base in 6 innings. Top of the order coming with the Cardinals, 4-1. Storyline here from Atlanta. Here's what's been happening. Cards lead the Braves 4-1. The Braves have left 12 men on base in 6 innings. Bernard Gilkey, one of the hitting stars for St. Louis, 2 for 3, a double and 2 big RBIs. Galarraga, the game's only home run. We head now into the late innings. This is John Miller along with Joe Morgan. National League ball. The high-flying Atlanta Braves with the best record in the majors coming in. Strike 1 from the new pitcher, Mike Stanton, to Bernard Gilkey. There is Omar Olivares, who lasted 5 innings plus. It's still his game to win. He's talking it over with Andres Galarraga. And the count to Gilkey is 0-2. Gilkey 2 for 3 with the big 2-out, 2-run single in the 4th inning. There is Stanton. You see that earned run average rather bloated. But as you mentioned, Joe, hard thrower. Only 25 years old. 1-2.
You know, I was thinking back to the last inning, John, and Deion Sanders had a chance to hit against Bob McClure. You may wonder, well, why wouldn't they bring in Ron Gant at that time? May have to do with the fact that Deion hasn't made his decision yet, because you can't save Ron Gant because McClure is the only left-hander the Cardinals have down in the bullpen now, and chances are later in the game you're going to see Lee Smith or Todd Worrell or someone from the right side. So that was the perfect opportunity there to use Ron Gant.
Curveball, strike 3 call. 1 away. We're in the 7th inning. Sunday night baseball from Atlanta, home of the Braves. St. Louis 4, the Braves 1, top of the 7th. ESPN Sunday night baseball.
Stanton comes with the big curveball, and it just freezes Gilkey, and it comes down right over the middle of the plate. There's a slider. He has a fastball, slider, and the curve.
Ozzie Smith hit one back to the pitcher. He's doubled over the head of Sanders in left field, and he's walked. Switch hitter. Back to the screen. 0-2 the count. Stanton is throwing strikes so far in this one. It's a sellout tonight at Atlanta Stadium. And a few no-shows in the actual attendance, 40,200, but there were no tickets available. Pop foul right back beneath us, and the count is 0-2 to Ozzie Smith. Ray Lankford is on deck. Final meeting of the year between these two clubs. And if the Cardinals win this game, they will have finished the season series tied with Atlanta. So the Cardinals have given the Braves some trouble all season long.
Again, if they would have played the Pirates better, they would be in good shape. They've lost 12 of the 14 games they played against the Pirates.
Strike three. So Stanton picks right up where his predecessor Merker left off. The two relievers have retired 8 straight Cardinals.
Well, he got Gilkey with a big breaking curveball. He gets Ozzie Smith with a hard slider. The pitch breaks down and in off the plate, and not much Ozzie can do with it. It's a good slider, good spot for a slider.
The Montreal Expos, second place over in the National League East, will be here in Atlanta Tuesday for a 3-game series. Langford takes a strike. Langford has fouled to the left fielder and an infield single, and he is struck out looking. 1 for 3. You know, Atlanta has a losing record against Montreal. Only 2 teams in the National League have a winning record against the Braves. 0-2. And that is, one team is Montreal. The Braves are 4-5 against the Expos, and the Expos are 6-7 against Cincinnati. Dirt. He struck him out. Olsen tagged him out, and Stanton has struck out the side. 4-1 St. Louis.
I still do it now out of bad habit.
That'll be right after the ball game, the entire conversation with Terry Pendleton, who has a chance to repeat as an MVP. Here is Sid Bream leading it off, taking a strike from Bob McClure. So probably the final batter that McClure will face. That slow curveball. 0-2 the count. Bream is 0 for 2, but has driven in the only run for the Braves with a fly ball. That was back in the 3rd inning.
John, I want to clarify something we talked about earlier in the game. And that was the fact that the Cardinals let Pendleton go. And, you know, he had not had great seasons in St. Louis, but he had been a good, steady player.
And Gilkey's got it. Nice play.
Well, what I want to explain is when I grade a player over, you know, say a player's had 4 or 5 years in the big leagues, what I do is I take the highest average he's had, the most home runs, the most RBIs, and most stolen bases. And if you put those together, you see the potential for a good player. And Pendleton had driven in 96 runs. He had stolen 24 bases, hit 286 average, and he had hit 12 home runs, all in different seasons, but he had shown the potential to do all of those things that he's done here in Atlanta.
1 ball and no strikes to Jeff Blauser. Blauser is fouled out to the catcher, struck out, and he has singled. 4-1. The Cardinals leading the Atlanta Braves here. Mike Perez warming up in the St. Louis bullpen, the right-hander, and the left-hander Bob McClure staying on to face the right-handed batting Blauser.
I think he'll stay on until he gets in trouble, until he gives up a hit.
There's a strike. He is retired. 4 straight hitters since he came on in relief of Olivares. In trouble. 2 on, nobody out. Sanders, Pendleton, and Justice were the hitters, and he got all of them out. And now has retired Bream as well here in the 7th. Curveball for a strike. Well, Torrey finally found a pitcher who is getting people out without putting 16 men on base. Bob McClure attended the College of San Mateo out of the San Francisco Bay Area. He was at one time a junior college All-American. It's almost like half a lifetime away from him. He's been pitching professionally since 1973. 2-2 the count to Jeff Blausen. College of San Mateo, Joe, is the same school that Merv Griffin attended. And me.
Buddy Harrelson, wasn't he down that way someplace?
I think he was across the bay. Did he go to Chabot or something?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're thinking Chabot. French school. High drive into deep left center field. Way back there. Way back. Off the top of the wall. Blausen's heading for third. He's rounding third. He will score. An inside the park home run for Jeff Blausen.
Well, the Cardinals got a little confused in that who was going to go for the ball and who was going to back up. They both took a leap at the wall. Here we see them all both come over, Langford and Gilkey. Now they land on top of each other. They block each other off, and the ball is bouncing back toward the infield. Whoever gets there first should take the shot at it, and the other one has to back the hitter, the defensive player up, and they didn't do that. And here we come with Blauser just coming around. He could have tried it actually, because the ball bounced way back toward the infield.
And now McClure will leave. Perez coming in. 4-2. Cardinals will be back. Mike Perez on the pitch now in relief of Bob McClure, and his first pitch to Greg Olson is in there for a strike. Perez, the third Cardinals pitcher of the game. He's from Puerto Rico. Ball. And it missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. He went to high school in his native Puerto Rico, but then he went to college first at San Jose City College, also out in the San Francisco Bay Area. Deep right field, but Felix Jose is there, and Olson is out number 2. Jeff Blauser igniting this crowd with an inside the park homer.
Here's Gilkey going for the ball, and you'll see Langford coming to your pitcher. They both leap for it, and that's where the problem comes in. Now they get tangled up with each other, and the ball is bounced all the way back towards center field, and Blauser just comes around to score. He's running hard here, but he actually could have trotted from third base in because there was no chance to make a play on him.
Now here is Mark Lemke. Strike 1 from Mike Perez. Perez also a one-time NCAA Division II All-American while at Troy State University. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Perez numbers. He has been exclusively used out of the bullpen and used a lot. This is his 59th appearance, and he has been excellent. 1.49 run average. Base hit for Lemke into left center field. That is the 10th hit of the game for Atlanta. And now we'll get a pinch hitter for Mike Stanton. Don't forget now, Sports Center follows the ball game with Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann. With all of the day's highlights from around the majors, the Milwaukee Brewers on the move in the American League East, the Pirates fighting off the Expos in the National League East, and of course the conversation with Terry Pendleton. And right here in Atlanta earlier today, the Falcons christened the new domed stadium. Have highlights from that as well. Here's Lonnie Smith. The Braves have used 2 pinch hitters already tonight, Jeff Chedway and Tom Glavine, and both of them got singles. Now here is Lonnie Smith hitting .262, 8 for 37 as a pinch hitter. Ball 1 from Perez. Meanwhile, in the Atlanta bullpen, there is the big right-hander, Marvin Freeman. So it looks like we'll see him in the 8th inning. 4-2. St. Louis leading Atlanta. Off the if this is foul.
Lonnie Smith has always been a good hitter. His problem has been defensively, finding a spot for him to play all the time, but he's always had the ability to hit.
Lonnie not been playing that much. Only 84 at bats the whole year, but 9 days ago at Pittsburgh, he had 6 RBIs in a game. Hit a grand slam.
If he gets at bats, he will hit.
Popped him up. Right side. Coming over. Alisea, foul ground. And that's inning. And the Braves leave it another one. They have left 13 men on base. We go to the 8th. 4-2 Cardinals. There is Marvin Freeman on to pitch for the Atlanta Braves. We go into the 8th inning now. Cardinals 4, the Braves 2. Freeman in his 45th game of the year. Great big guy.
Well, he throws hard, has a good fastball, throws a slider. His problem sometimes is control. You see 24 base on balls in 48 innings pitched. That's 1 every 2 innings. Not real good, but when he throws strikes, he's very effective.
Marvin Freeman, 6 feet 7 inches tall. The first batter, Felix Jose, now having to switch around, a bat left-handed. Now Jose is over 400 with his batting average from the right side, but as a left-handed hitter, he's hitting 239. Well, maybe 241 now. Looks great left-handed to me. First ball swinging, and he's got the 9th hit of the game for St. Louis. He is 2 for 4 with a run batted in.
There's Todd Worrell warming up in the bullpen. This is the 8th inning, so he will probably go 1, or at least they want 1 from him, and then Lee Smith will probably finish it up.
Marvin Freeman in there for Atlanta right now with Andres Galarraga up. Galarraga has lined to right, homered to left, and grounded to third. And back to the bag is Jose at first base. Felix Jose's 21 stolen bases this year. Been caught attempting to steal 9 times. Four to 2. Cardinals lead. There goes Jose. Safe. Wowzer took the throw. And Wendelstedt made the quick call. Safe. The 22nd steal.
Not a real good throw by Olson. A good, strong throw, and I think they would have had him. A little wasted step there. He's running, but the throw is a kind of a looper. It's not a good, hard, strong throw. And he hits him on the back of the heel just as he hits the base, so he was safe.
Right up the middle by Galarraga. Base hit. Here comes Jose. Here comes a throw. And down to second base goes Galarraga as Otis Nixon took an ill-advised shot at getting Jose. So it is 5-2 Atlanta. 2 batters and a run home against Marvin Freeman for the Cardinals. Second RBI of the game for Galarraga.
Nixon had no shot at throwing out Felix Jose. Should have thrown to second base to keep the double play in order. But you can't throw Galarraga fastballs. He's a good fastball hitter. He's hit 1 for a home run, and now he's driven in a run.
The bunt by Woodson. Freeman. Oh, not much of a throw there, but he got him. Down to third base goes Galarraga. So the sacrifice from 1 to 3, and there is 1 away. The batter will be Pagnazzi. See how the Braves play it here.
Well, how Joe Torre's playing it is what's unique. Usually on the road, when you have a lead, you try to bust the game open. Here he's playing for 1 more run. It's a 5-1 lead, and he's playing for 1 more. So that shows you what he wants to do in this ball game. He wants to go to the 9th inning with a comfortable lead.
That's why he wants a game buster for the middle of his batting order for next year.
Good point. If he had that, he wouldn't have lost 12 out of 14 to the Pirates.
They haven't really had one since Jack Clark, really.
Well, Guerrero had a couple of good years, but you know, the last two he has not been the big guy in the middle.
4-1 to Pagnazzi. He's 0 for 3. The infield is in for Atlanta. Trying to cut off this run. Braves lead the Cardinals lead the Braves 5-2. You see, they're in all the way around. Alicea on deck. The Braves bullpen is also busy. Nice play by Blauser. Holding Galarraga at third and throwing out Pagnazzi. Beautiful.
The ball's hit very hard by Pagnazzi. Very fine play by Blauser. No chance for Galarraga to score. And Pagnazzi's out at first.
Now the infield will drop back to normal depth as Luis Alicea comes up with the pitcher's spot due up next. However, Worrell is up in the bullpen for the Cardinals, as we saw. 4-1. Alicea is flied out deep to right center. He is singled and scored, and he is lined out to first. 1 for 3.
Freeman doesn't seem to have the good fastball that I've seen him have on other occasions. Seems like he's throwing more darts tonight than really having a good fastball, good live fastball.
SportsCenter comes up next right after the ball game. Stay tuned. Here we are in the top of the 8th inning in Atlanta. 5-2. The Cardinals lead the Braves. The Reds won today at Montreal 1-0. Were able to eke out a victory. The Reds would gain ground on Atlanta if this score holds up. Foul tip. 2-1. The Reds were 7 games out at the start of the night. San Diego also won today. The Padres were 9.5 out at the start of the night. Time truly running out on the Padres. And a foul tip. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So an interesting note that maybe you're going to see an extension for Greg Riddock at San Diego, even though they're 9 games out.
Yep.
It was written in the paper the other day.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
So Cincinnati would move up to within 6 games and San Diego 8.5 if the Cardinals can hold this lead over the Braves. It is 5-2. Strike 3. Alicea very frustrated. And Freeman got out of the inning, but the Cardinals added a run. Top of the order coming for Atlanta. Our ESPN Sunday Night Baseball game of the week tonight from Atlanta Stadium. And as you can see, a lot of the faithful have begun to head home, fearing that maybe the Braves have let their best opportunities go by tonight. Atlanta indeed has stranded 13 base runners in 7 innings, losing many scoring opportunities along the way. Todd Worrell is now on to pitch for the Cardinals. We got Worrell for the 8th inning and then Smith for the 9th inning if it's still close. It's been a pretty good formula for the Cardinals. Very strong bullpen. So here is Worrell, the hard-throwing right-hander. The top of the order coming up for Atlanta. Ozzie. That quick throw, and Otis Nixon is an easy out. And he is 0 for 5 in this game. Now Deion Sanders, followed by Terry Pendleton. One of the Braves runs tonight, scoring on an inside-the-park homer from Jeff Blauser. And Peter Pasquarelli has done some research for us on that. The last inside-the-park home run in this ballpark was hit 3 years ago by Kirk Gibson when he was with the Dodgers. And the only other inside the park, other than the one tonight and the one by Gibson, was hit 19 years ago by the Braves' Paul Casanova. Remember him?
Yeah, catcher.
You ever throw you out?
He was a catcher.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't think I'm on his list, though. I hope not anyway.
Never got you?
I hope not.
Walt Casanova hit an inside-the-park homer here against San Diego 19 years ago. There have only been 3 inside-the-park home runs ever hit in this ballpark. And tonight, You were there. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Sanders. Sanders 1 for 4. He's grounded to second, singled and scored a run, and twice he has struck out. He's hitting .300 for the year. 2-1 now to Dion. Lefton has hit the ball well, but he does not often walk. Only 17 walks for him all year.
The first 3 or 4 pitches Worrell threw, he threw free and easy. Seems to be pushing the ball a little bit. Threw that one pretty well.
2-2. Coming up now, right after the ball game. Remember, Sports Center. Everything that happened in sports today. Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann. The Brewers in the American League East. The Pirates in the National League East. And a conversation with the Braves' Terry Pendleton. Big day for sports in Atlanta. What do they have? 70,000 something today at the new dome here. Strike 3, and Sanders is down. 1 for 5, and he has struck out in each of his last 3 at-bats. And on our radar gun, that was clocked at 98 miles an hour.
I was going to say he shouldn't be embarrassed by this strikeout. This fastball had a lot of giddy-up on it. And look, it's right by him. I mean, that's a good fastball. Up enough in the strike zone that you can't drop your bat. Watch him see, he drops his bat. Now he tries to get it back up. Too late.
2 down. Here is Pendleton. Would like to have had Nixon and Sanders on base with Pendleton coming up. Trailing 5-2. Pendleton is 2 for 4 in the game. Off the mask of the catcher Pagnazzi. 0-1. This is the last half of the 8th inning. Cardinals 5, Atlanta 2. Braves have 10 hits. 13 men left on base. Not a one of those 10 hits came with a man in scoring position tonight.
This is kind of like the World Series. Not a lot of hits, but they had runners in scoring position and couldn't score.
Yeah, like Game 7.
Like Game 7.
What was that guy's name? Jack Morris. Yeah. See, Jack Morris won last night. He's 16-5 for the Blue Jays this year.
And the thing I like about it, he's a winner. I mean, his earned run average is pretty high, but he wins ball games. That's the way that's what you're supposed to do. Rather than have a 0.1 earned run average and be 500 pitcher, I'd rather have the high earned run average and the wins that Jack Morris has.
1 ball and 2 strikes now to Pendleton. Right now, Jack is one of the only Blue Jays pitchers winning ball games. Guzman on the disabled list. Jimmy Key pitched well today at the Metrodome, but lost to Scott Erickson. The Twins beat Toronto. Whitson got a nice play. And the Braves go down in order for the first time tonight. We go to the 9th inning. 5-2 Cardinals. Then we go from Atlanta Stadium. This is John Miller along with Joe Morgan. Also, in addition to being your Sunday night baseball telecasters, big fans of Sports Center, which comes up right after the game. Stay tuned. We'll have the rest of this one for you. The result from Atlanta forthcoming. And then all of the results from all of the baseball games and any other event that occurred in the world of sports today on Sports Center. Geronimo Pena with a swinging strike 1 facing the new Atlanta pitcher Mark Davis. Pena batting for Todd Worrell, and guess who's warming up in the St. Louis bullpen? Mark Davis, the breaking ball in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yes, the closer, the big guy Lee Smith, warming up for the Cardinals with a 3-run lead right now. It is a save situation, but if they get a run, it won't be.
Yes, that's true.
But they'll have to use him anyway now.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at the way Worrell was throwing, but I guess Torrey wants to use Worrell 1 inning at a time, and that's it.
Into left field, base hit. Geronimo Pena hitting .283 for the year coming in, and in his 100th at bat, his 29th hit, .290. So he's aboard. And then we go to the top of the order for Bernard Gilkey. Mark Davis, formerly with the Kansas City Royals. He wasn't faring very well there. And Baron Gare was not doing well here in Atlanta. So the two teams exchanged pitchers. Now Davis is 1-0 for his new ball club. But in 7 games, 8 2/3 innings, 4 runs, 10 hits. He has given up 3 home runs in his 8 2/3 innings for Atlanta. Pendleton get the force out there. Safe at first. Dug out of the dirt there by Bream. So Gilkey avoids being doubled up. And Pena's out at second.
It was a good, very good play by Pendleton at third base. He gets the ball over to second base very quickly, and actually Lemke had a shot at him, doubling Gilkey at first base. Now watch how quickly Pendleton gets the ball to him. Very quickly, throws, and we're all leaning. Ball's in the air, it's probably a double play, but he bounced it, took a little of the steam off.
Ozzie Smith, the hitter, with Gilkey at first. Gilkey, pretty good speed. He is now 2 for 5 in the game. Ozzie 1 for 3 with a walk. They pitch out, but Gilkey wasn't going. Mark Davis, I mean, his last year in the National League, he was sensational. More than 40 saves, got the huge free agent contract with the Kansas City Royals, who were in need of a closer, or so they thought. But it turned out that Davis was not it. The guy they already had ended up being the closer again with the failure of Davis. Jeff Montgomery, and he's still the closer down there.
Well, last year in the National League, he threw hard, had a great curveball, and he had control of both. I have not seen him except on, seen him pitch an inning here, inning there, because he didn't usually last that long in the American League, so I haven't seen much of him. But he does have a good curveball.
They tried everything. They sat him out for long periods of time. Al McRae made him a starter for a while. Runner going. That ball is driven foul down the left field line in amongst the spectators. 2-1 the count to Ozzie Smith. 1 out, 1 on, 9th inning. Cardinals 5, Braves 2.
Braves were lucky there. Both second baseman and the shortstop both covered the bag. I don't know what happened there, but both of them covered the bag on that play.
Well, they knew Ozzie was going to pull the ball, I guess.
And then they talked about it, of course.
Well, when they both got there, they were certainly hoping that he would pull the ball.
Blauser's calling the signals.
Pulled that one too, base hit. Deion Sanders chasing after it. Gilkey to third. Ozzie to second with his second double of the game. And with 1 out, Langford is coming up with 2 men in scoring position.
Well, Mark Davis gets the pitch down and in to Ozzie, but not in enough. Ozzie rips it past the diving Pendleton, and only because of the grass does, the grass slows it down, and that keeps Gilkey from scoring from first base.
12 hits now for the Cardinals. And the batter, Ray Langford. He has 1 hit. The infield comes in, trying to cut off any more scoring by the Cardinals, and there is strike 1 to Langford.
It's kind of a sidearm curveball from Mark Davis. See the infield playing in. He used to have a 3/4 curveball that really went down. We'll see if he's changed that.
Ray Langford is fouled out to left, and an infield angle, and twice has struck out. The Cardinals RBI leader. That curveball stayed up a little bit. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He still has a big break in the curveball, but it doesn't seem to bite like it did before. I think he threw it a little harder, and it had a little more bite on it.
The Expos in here in Atlanta beginning Tuesday for a 3-game series. Tom Glavine will be going for his 20th that night against Chris Nabholz. 2-1 the count. On deck, Felix Jose. Now you're the Montreal Expos under manager Felipe Alou, hoping to get back into the race with the Pirates. You come in here and you got to face Glavine Tuesday, Avery Wednesday, Smoltz Thursday.
Yeah, but they're also going to be able to throw Martinez in there one of those days, I'm sure.
Strike with a curve. 2-2. Dennis Martinez will go Wednesday against Avery.
And if Ken Hill can come back, he pitched today, though. He may not be able to pitch in that series.
Let's see. It's going to be Nabholz versus Glavine, Dennis Martinez versus Avery, and then Mark Gardner, who's an 11-game winner against Smoltz.
Gardner's a good pitcher as well, so they can match up with him. I see why they have won more games against Atlanta than anyone else.
High fly ball into left center field. Tagging at third is Gilkey. Dion makes the catch. Gilkey heading home. Throw cut off by Blauser. Holding at second, Ozzie Smith. Sacrifice fly for Langford. His 59th RBI. It is 6-2 now for the Cardinals. Tomorrow morning, the Volvo International Championship tennis match, live only on ESPN, 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 Pacific. Top-seeded Stefan Edberg versus Malivia Washington, who defeated Fabrice Santoro of France today, 6-4, 6-2. Edberg defeated Ivan Lendl, 7-6, 4-6, 6-3. 11 tomorrow, 8 Pacific. Here is Felix Jose, a 400 hitter, batting right-handed. First base is open, and they're not going to even bother with him. As you see him giving them the 4 wide one here. Jose 2 for 4 tonight. Instead, they will pitch to Andres Galarraga. If you're Galarraga, you got to be rather insulted here, don't you?
Well, not Galarraga, because you have to look at the numbers, and Felix Jose is hitting 300, and he's, he struggles.
But if I'm Galarraga, I only say, hey, who am I? Chopped liver? I can hit. I'm 2 for 4 tonight. I have a home run and 2 batted in.
Yeah, but I don't think you better ask that.
Adios, señor pelota.
Because you may get the wrong answer, or at least the answer you do not want to hear. What's interesting is the fact that Lee Smith has already warmed up, and like you said, it's not a save situation now.
Yeah, got to use him.
The Cardinals have a 4-run lead now.
Foul ball back to those closers. They don't like you not to use them when it's a save situation, especially when it's 3 runs, right?
Right.
Because that's a relatively easy save.
Yeah.
And they also don't like you to use them. They don't like you to use them if it's not a save situation.
They don't want you to use them if it's a 4-run situation. They like 3, but not 4.
Yeah. I'm a little worn out, Skip. Curveball from Davis, and it is low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think this is the game plan that Joe Torre has used most of the season, so he just really was sticking with it. If it would have been a 2-run lead, he would have done the same thing. So I think it's just unfortunate, if you want to look at it that way, for Lee Smith, that he will not have a save situation when he comes in.
That's the way Lee looks at it, I'm sure. That's a foul back to the screen. But 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The name of the game is winning.
Back in the 4th inning with a score 1-1. Galarraga was the leadoff hitter, and adios pelota. Home run for Galarraga. That put the Braves ahead, and they have led ever since. They got 2 more runs in that inning. They lead now 6-2. Galarraga drove in run number 5 with a single in the 8th. Look out. 2-2.
Now that may make him mad. The fact that the pitch is awfully close. Fastball, and Galarraga's leaning in. And this one is right under his chin. 90-mile-an-hour fastball. So he goes in, he strides in, and he has to get back out of the way.
2-2. 2 on, 2 out. Cardinals have a run in, 6-2. The fact that they did pinch hit for Worrell, by the way, at least paid off in terms of getting a run, because Geronimo Pena got the pinch hit single. He was promptly forced out by Gilkey, but then Gilkey scored that 6th run later on. And it's full count, 3-2. Tracy Woodson is on deck. There's Ozzie Smith, who hit a double. He's at second base. Felix Jose, who was walked intentionally, is at first base. Both will be running here with a count of 3-2. 6-2. The Cardinals lead the Braves. There they go in the dirt. So Davis, after the intentional walk, offers up an unintentional walk. The bases are loaded, and here is Tracy Woodson. And again, that's the line of the Braves, is that the bullpen a little shaky. Here is Woodson, and don't forget, right after the ball game, Sports Center coming up next. This is Sunday Night Baseball. We're in the 9th, 6-2. Cardinals ahead. Curveball, looper along the right field line, base hit. Ozzie Smith scores. Here comes Jose to score. Going to third is Galarraga. A 2-run single for Tracy Woodson. And now the Cardinals have busted it wide open. It is 8-2. And 3 runs have scored in the 9th inning against Mark Davis.
Well, as I said before, he doesn't have the same bite on his breaking ball. And he doesn't seem to have the same pop on his fastball as the last time I saw him pitch in the National League. It's a fastball and it's down and away. And he drives it down the right field line. Good piece of hitting by Woodson. Ball was down and away and he went the other way with it.
Ball 1 to Pagnazzi.
There you see Olson tell him to stay back on the breaking ball, meaning, you know, just stay back. Don't rush everything as he's doing.
Tom Pagnazzi, 0 for 4 in the game. He's the only man in the lineup other than the pitcher who has not had a hit for the Cardinals. And that's the way it will remain. Blauser to Lemke. 8-men bat in the 9th inning for the Cardinals. 3 of them score. Justice, Bream, and Blauser coming up. 8-2 Cardinals. Next Sunday night, we'll see you then. Here is Lee Smith. Try and wrap this one up for the St. Louis Cardinals. Smith no longer with a chance to get a save in this ball game, but hey, he's got plenty already.
Right, he's got 32. That's, you know, that's a lot of saves. He did struggle a little bit toward the middle of the season, though. He started off very well, struggled a little bit at the middle. Now he's back on track again.
He's got 344 saves lifetime, more than any other pitcher in Major League history other than Jeff Reardon, and he's closing in on Reardon. He has passed Raleigh Fingers, who went into the Hall of Fame this year. So Lee Smith, now he pitched here Friday in the 10th inning after the Cardinals gone ahead to get his 32nd save. The Cardinals' next game is not until Tuesday. Now this is really odd to me, Joe. You know where the next Cardinals game is?
Where?
If you guessed wrong, you'd be right with all of us. The next Cardinals game is in Houston. Is that ridiculous? I mean, even the Astros don't play there.
I was going to say, Houston's going to play a home game, huh? Well,
Tuesday.
Actually, they did very well on that 26-day road trip. They were 12-14. Yeah. That's amazing.
Well, in 26 games, 28 days.
Yeah, that's amazing.
1 ball and no strikes to Dave Justice. He has doubled, walked, popped to short, and flied to left center. 1 for 3. 8-2, the Cardinals spoiling the party in Atlanta tonight. The Braves were hoping to take this series and then maintain their 7-game advantage over the Cincinnati Reds. But the Braves have been their night, and the Cardinals has been their night, and for the Braves, they've been their own worst enemies tonight. They have not been able to get the big hit. It happens every once in a while. And also, they weren't able to get the strong start, which they get almost every night. Charlie Lebrandt got knocked out early. What's a manager to do? Bobby Cox knows they've got plenty of games still to come. But if they, with the loss here, and they are trailing 8-2, they will have lost 3 out of 4, which is like the worst slump they've had since 1981.
And see, that would be the problem, that you don't want to get yourself caught up in the losing streak. Because when things go bad, people start to press and etc. Even though you have a big lead over the Reds and the Padres, you don't want that to snowball. You don't want to lose 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5.
Deep to right field. Off the wall, and he'll run and run and run. A stand-up triple for Dave Justice. Fourth triple of the year for Dave Justice.
I don't want to make any excuses for Lee Smith, because I don't think he needs any. But when you're a stopper and you're going to pitch in an 8-2 ball game, I'm not so sure that your heart, your mind, and everything is in it. And he gets a fastball that looked like he was trying to throw a slider, but it just straightened out. Maybe it was a backup slider, and it hung on the inside part of the plate.
Now here's Sid Bream, runner at third. That base hit was the 11th of the game for the Braves. and the 15th base runner of the game for the Braves. Sid Bream has delivered the only run tonight for Atlanta with one of the 2 runs. I beg your pardon. Ball 2. They have 2 runs. He delivered one of them with a sacrifice fly. Jeff Blauser hit an inside the park home run for the other one. Justice hit third. Nobody out. 2-0 to Bream. Blauser is on deck. It's a foul back out of play. Not many folks left at Atlanta Stadium. It was a sellout tonight. More than 40,000 here, including Ted Turner and Jane Fonda. But Ted and Jane left, and then a little while later, everybody else did too.
Maybe they're having a party at Ted and Jane's house.
Yeah. John Sherholt stayed. Center field. Another sacrifice fly, it looks like, for Bream. Langford makes the catch. And Justice scores, and it is 8-3 for St. Louis. Well, one thing, they're sure happy to see Dave Justice continue to swing the bat well. A double and a triple for him tonight. Here is Jeff Blauser. He has a single and a home run tonight, an inside the park home run. Now 15 for his last 34. And the offense from Blauser has been well appreciated. He's hitting .441 in that stretch, because the Braves have not hit that well overall for the season. Just off the outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Can Cincinnati catch the Atlanta Braves?
Under the present situation, you know, I don't think so. I mean, with the Braves, all their pitchers healthy, the 4 starters, and Cincinnati still having a lot of injuries, I would say it would be, you know, an outside shot.
Deep right field, but Jose has it for out number 2.
But the difference is that, you know, anything can happen. If something happens to one of the Braves starters and the Reds get healthy, you know, I mean, they can make the run. 6.5 games will be down to 6. 6 is not that much to overcome, you know, with 40-plus games left.
And they still have 5 against each other.
And the Reds have played well against Atlanta.
In fact, they'll have each team will have 40 games remaining after tonight.
Right.
The Reds and the Braves. The Braves will have 20 home and 20 road after tonight. Slider for a strike to Olsen. Olsen 0 for 2 with 2 walks. The Braves are 39. If they lose this one, they'll be 39 and 22 at home. The Reds, though, have the great home record, and they've still got most of their games left at home. The Reds, much more action at home than on the road. This will do it, and the St. Louis Cardinals have won this series 2 out of 3 and finished the season series tied with the Braves 6-6. Some consolation for a bad year. Final score, St. Louis 8, Atlanta 3. Sports Center comes up next. We'll see you next Sunday at New York. John Miller for Joe Morgan. Good night from Atlanta.